Hi guys, welcome to season 2 of the Hot Sauce and Poils podcast. You suffering succotash, glucose, sucrose motherfuckers. This is a new format.
Yeah.
More faces, more food, and more food. I guess. I don't know. We have way more food nowadays.
More food and more food.
As you can see, we have 5 people. We have a guest today in the middle, right here. Our VIP. Introduce yourself, please.
Hi, I'm Boplay.
Okay, but before that, right? Can you tell us who you are and what you do?
Okay, so I'm Gary. So I think most people in the Singapore underground scene knows me. I'm the one that goes around attending gigs and taking photos, trying to record full sets of the gig sets, all in the purpose of archiving the scenes and archiving what happens in the gigs for posterity, for historical purposes, and whoever next time in future that wants to use it as a point of reference for whatever is happening in our Lion City underground scene. But I'm not a professional. Everything is done as a freelancer.
I mean, professionals are being paid for what they do. Right?
Yeah.
But Gary do it out of passion, so what do we call it?
Sucker.
Yeah, I just want to complain. I just want to complain one thing. Just now, right, I asked you all to test, right? The volume was okay. Then now you all talk very soft.
Shy lah. It's shy lah.
Okay, never mind. Maybe later you will be louder again. Okay, never mind. It's okay.
Okay, so
I can still chew and
Can.
So Gary, why do you do what you do though? Why do all this? Like you say, you're not professional. You like what Hani said also. You're doing it basically for free, right? No one.
I say about passion.
Passion for free lah. Yeah, passion don't pay the bills. So why do you do what you do?
Passion don't pay the bill. That's a good tagline that I must follow.
Passion don't pay the bills, man.
I think at the end of the day, it is passion that drives the whole thing that I do.
Amen.
The love for the underground scene, the love for the various genres of the underground scene. So it's not only say hardcore or whatever. It encompasses all the genre. Indie, hardcore, punk, skins, metal, as long as it's part of the DIY ethos and the DIY culture. Because for far too long, and I think this is not uniquely a Singapore situation. I think across the world in all underground scenes, there is always a lot of media resources and things that can be thrown at mainstream, commercial music, mainstream entities. But when it comes to underground, there's this perception that these guys can't really pay for these sort of things, so why the hell do you want to waste resources and time and effort on that for no returns on investments? Exposure doesn't pay the bills, passion doesn't. So I think that is what part of the reason that drives me, because just because the underground scene doesn't give you that money that you need to build your pockets doesn't mean that it doesn't deserve any of this support. Correct. So when I returned back to the scene in 2015, I realized that the scene was growing. There's a lot of young blood in the scene, but there was this lack of media resources being thrown into the scene. So
say return back, right? How long you went hiatus for? Why you run away?
I won't say hiatus. You have you got job, career, family, children. During the early days, I did during the last. I've been married 25 years next year. So the early years of my marriage, I did manage to attend gigs. Maybe if I'm lucky, once every 6 months, once a year. I would love to attend gigs all the time, but there was family to build up, because I was the only working person in the family. It's a single income household, so my wife is, as a homemaker, will help take care of the children. But I'm the Ministry of Labour, so I have to go out and work. But then so much as I would like to spend more time to attend gigs and things like that, but it's not, can't really have the time and the thing.
So now your wife take care of things at home and you take care of underground scene.
right now the children are grown up, right? Daughter's already working, son is in poly first year. They're pretty independent, and therefore but 2015 I'm still working full time, right? I'm still working full time, I think. But thanks to I came back in the first so-called gig I came back to shoot was LC93's gig at midnight in front of Substation at Armenian Street as part of the Singapore Night Festival. So after shooting that one, and then of course Suhaimi told me, hey, we'll be having album launch at Aliwa, blah blah blah, and also the scene is quite active. Maybe you can come back and see what we can do to help the scene. And so, and it's true. I realized that the scene was very active. A lot of young blood was in. So, being a photography enthusiast and hobbyist myself for nearly 40 years, using it to shoot underground scene is not a problem. So I then decided that why not take it as a part of a passion project to do it. But I didn't realize that this passion project would entail really shooting across all the different genres of the underground. So even when I was working full time, I still attend gigs on every Saturday and Sunday, or even Friday, or even if there's a touring band or it doesn't matter. I'll still sometimes come straight from work to go and shoot and things like that. So yeah. And I think as of 2021, I'm no longer working full time. So this is basically a passion project now. And I'm quite happy with what has been done over the last few years. And I'm just happy to be doing it. And I'm happy that all the different genre scenes are growing. And I hope to see it through, that the scene is well and alive. And hopefully we can leave some good historical records for future generations to look at our underground scene, for them to have a point of reference and to carry on the good work and the good fight that we do in the scene for us.
Well said.
Yeah.
Sorry, I stop you guys right there. Increase the gain a bit, okay?
Yeah, for Gary.
Because suddenly, you all talk very soft.
Gary very soft actually.
Huh?
You very soft.
This is just now I was saying there's not testing. I feel very
This
soft.
level is good.
Oh,
This
yeah.
level is good. Just
No, but I'm saying
Now you all can hear everybody, right?
melancholic thinking.
You can cry.
Actually, that one sounds like gonna end the podcast already, Okay, wrap it up.
Thank you guys. Thank you for
Thank you for staying.
the Armenian Street, the night festival. So that was the first gig in a long time.
It's partly because as LC93, I haven't seen Suhaimi for quite a while since then. I mean, in the early days, we were doing flea markets in Substation in the early days. He was selling his Star Wars toy. I was selling with my friend Paul. We were doing comics and toys also. So it's been quite a while. So when I saw it, this Singapore, the night festival, and then I saw the rundown, it's like, oh, LC93, midnight slot. I remember I did message him and I said, it's midnight. I said, I will go down and shoot. He said, yeah, come on now, it's midnight. I know it's midnight. But I said, yeah, no problem. So I told him, okay, I'm going out to shoot. Don't wait for me because it's going to be a midnight. By the time the thing starts, it's midnight. So yeah, it's you can say that was like really coming back to shoot. And with cameras to go and shoot. No videos, of course, but it's shooting. But it was, I just wanted to, I want to catch up with Suhaimi, catch up with old friends at the same time, but I also wanted to understand from Suhaimi how was the scene and things like that. How was it really going on, And the response was, the answer that he gave me was good. So then I started to do my homework, I actually went on Facebook and I started to dig around for some of the bands that we used to listen to, and then I found, they are playing gigs at places like Decline, so, and then they're playing places at Live M and things like that. So
Live M.
So I started to get in touch with the band, follow them on Facebook, things like that. I did not have Instagram at the time. Instagram was a very new thing. I did not have Instagram. Much later for me, Instagram. So then I started. Of course, I think the second. There was Aliwa Art Center LC93 album launch. I think 1-2 weeks after that, I went to Decline for the first time. And that's when I spoke to some of the young. Well, in those days they were younger. Now they are of course much older, and found that they were actually Decline was having gigs almost every weekend.
At that point in time, when we went to Decline for the first time, do you already have your stickers?
No. So there was no. There was actually
there
was no intention to promote. Okay, so there's no the word Boplay photos did not surface then, but then Swami liked to use the word Boplay. So I said, maybe if you agree, I'd like to adopt the word Boplay and put it as Boplay photos.
So that's how it came out. Okay.
So that's how it came out. But then there was no intention to promote myself as anything. I'm not the star of the show. Okay, I never want to be a star. The star of the show are the bands and organizers. So I'm just there, lurking in your background to shoot your scenes and to record down the photos for posterity, and of course the band wants it, I give to them. So that was purely on the purpose of recording the scene. But of course, later on it came to encompass because as I started to attend every weekend, then some of the bands asked me, could you also do recording video? I was like, I'm not a videographer. I don't do anything with video. But I mean, if you want, I can just put mount a handphone there somewhere on a tripod and hope to catch. So that started that thing about photography and recording gig sets and things like that. So and then of course, as time go past, I learn a lot basically from people in the scene that have been doing this thing or sound engineer or video editing. I learn from them what are some of the things that I should look out for and things like that. So and so it's a learning process for me also. I'm not a musician. I have no nuts about music and your sound engineering, all these things. So it's a learning process, but it's been a fun learning process. I have to admit, it's been a fun learning process. I really enjoyed myself doing all this, and I'm still happy as long as my body is still there, my mind is still there. I'm happy to be doing this.
And your Coke Zero.
And then as long as the Coke doesn't close down and I still can get my fix of Coke, I'll still do it. I know there will come a time when the body will say, hey, I don't think you really can do it anymore. That will be there. I'll probably for the first time be able to go to a gig without anything and just listen to a gig. Okay?
I'll buy 4Ds at that day.
Yeah, I will let you know on the day. You all can buy 4D for the
year, everything.
You can buy the gig date and everything and increase your chance of hoping to strike a total price on that. But I mean, there will come a time, when the body will say, no, you just can't do it anymore already. But until that time happens, I'm just going to enjoy myself, music, underground bands, underground music, DIY culture, trying to help out in the scene as much as possible with whatever I can offer from my own skill set. And we just make the scene a better place for all. Try as I might, for all to enjoy. I think that's the main thing.
Okay. Then may I ask, right, how do you get started? Because you said 2015 you go back into the scene, right? But how about you, like when
the early days?
Early days, like pre-teen, teenagers, late 20s. How do you get started?
In the early days, I
can you give us a timeline, like what year you started in the scene?
Actually, before that, can I ask, which one comes first, music or photography? Like your passion?
So photography in my household, photography was never a professional thing. It was a hobby, but it was a hobby that was taken very, very seriously. And it started with my father. So in the younger days, when I was young, as in 2 years old, 3 years old, so my father already has been doing photography as a serious hobby for years, right? To such an extent that we actually built a dark room in our house.
Wow!
So we actually bought Kodak chemicals to develop
film.
E6 positive, C41 negative,
Nice.
and then we even. In those days, there's no computer, so I think it's manual. So we even bought manual enlargers, and we actually buy our own photo paper, what we call, in those days, resin-coated paper, followed by bromide paper. And we actually do full darkroom exposures in the house. We turn the master bedroom into a dark room.
Wow.
So, after we take a roll of film, we actually process the negatives, and then we actually bring it to the enlarger in the room, and we expose them on the photo paper, and then we process the photo paper. So we went through the full works of negative development right down to... So it was a hobby. It was not a profession. My father is not a photographer by trade. It has nothing to do with photography by trade. His full-time job has nothing else whatsoever to do with media. But it's a hobby that we take very seriously, because if you're going to put the time and money into shooting something, then you might as well try to learn as much as you can. Not that you want to make a job out of it, but it's just to expand your hobby.
Just like how we treat music also.
Yes, correct. I mean, I want to play guitar. Oh yes, I want to play guitar, but then maybe I should write my song. And you start to move slowly into the thing, and it becomes a more enriching experience.
And expensive.
And expensive, yeah. So you see, you have the balance. In those days, it was pretty expensive, given back in the 70s, the rate, the cost of living, right? And then when you take a roll of film, 36 exposures, you always also concerned about whether do I get a full 36 upon 36 heat ratio, and then when processing, once and then you got to pay for processing negative, pay for photo paper processing, and then and you want to play darkroom tricks, you want to push and pull your colors and whatever.
I'm lost, guys.
So basically,
So many
imagine you're recording blind.
Yeah, I'm doing
like
it's like doing mastering and mixing of a music.
Yeah.
But I'm doing mastering and mixing
reverb.
on the colors of a negative.
Someone last time got no YouTube tutorials or
Nothing.
Got
It's
no
all
internet.
so I remember as a young kid, the first book I read was, and this book is still published today. Kodak every year has a book called The Joy of Photography. It introduces you to photography as a hobby, and why is a joy of photography. So this book, I don't know how many editions it is now. I think every year they come out with a new edition, but it's the same thing. But sometimes they add a bit more modern, updated information. But
they still have it.
I have old copies of from the I think from 76, 77, the old Joy of Photography
Is
book.
Kodak still doing it every year? Until now?
I should think that Kodak is doing it, but if not, then I won't be surprised because Kodak is literally, as a company, is no longer the powerhouse that it was. It fell to digital photography because it failed to embrace it, and it thought that it couldn't go far as digital photography. So those books evoked that motivation to do photography. And of course, from I think 5-6 years old, I was handling Nikon FM2 film cameras and going out with my father on weekends to shoot. But then of course, that's where I developed I wasn't into music shooting in those days, because in those days you don't really have this type of music thing in the 70s that you can just walk up to. But we shot a lot of military related things. There were air shows, there were open houses in those days. So that created that interest, and eventually I found my own interest in what to shoot. But in the early days of our scene, I think I did not bring a camera there because first of all, the camera was not mine. Second, it's fucking expensive, for a camera in those days.
Yeah.
The last thing you want is to bring a camera there and then get it hit by something. So, I rather just see the show in those days. I know.
Then what was the very first show that you went to local? Or first show you saw in Singapore, local, international, whatever. Remember?
I mean, when the Substation was formed or officially opened in 1990, if I'm not mistaken, I think late 89 or 90.
You're born.
The underground scene in those days was really, how should I say? Well, there was Stomping Ground, but Stomping Ground was around 88. Or actually, it was known as Grey first. Grey, then later changed the name of Stomping Ground. But before that, before hardcore punk came into the picture, there was really only one. There was Opposition Party, which was much earlier. And before Opposition Party, there was Chris Ho and Zerkau Lounge.
Yeah, correct.
That was your so-called alternative music scene. But there really wasn't much places where they could play. And I think the Substation changed the whole landscape. I think Kwa Pao Kun had a good idea to really build a
And Kwa Pao Kun
place.
is the owner of Substation, right?
No, the one that came up with the idea of Substation and see through it is Vision.
Okay.
And Kwa Pao Kun was a very famous artist in Singapore. I think he's a cultural medallion winner also. It was his vision to have a place where arts could flourish, basically almost free from all restrictions, right? And to let art to be organic and to fly. And when you say art, we're not talking about only drawing, we're talking about arts and culture. We're talking about music, it could be dance, it could be performances, it could be anything.
Mosh pits.
It could be that. But I see, so the Substation was built as a place to house all this thing, which otherwise would have been regarded as non-mainstream. And but in early days, in the courtyard behind Substation, we actually have flea markets on every Saturday and Sunday. So where there's a concrete stage, and then actually under the concrete stage there were doors that we open, and actually the foldable tables and chairs and umbrellas were there. So every Saturday, Sunday there'll be a flea market, and that's where Suhaimi had his Star Wars toys, in his early days.
He started then already,
Yeah. No, he started. He was also Suhaimi is also into toys also, right?
But he started the collectibles thing.
Yeah, like Star Wars. Yeah, the Star Wars figures or vintage
shit,
figures, right?
Okay, wow.
And then I and my friend, we were Paul, which Suhaimi knows him, Paul. We were doing comics, also toys. Not necessarily Star Wars, but old toys. Which today is called old toys, but in those days it was like the current generation of toys. So every Saturday, Sunday we are almost there. All right. The thing is from 1 o'clock. I think from saying it starts at 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Okay. So we'll go there, we set our tables, and then the courtyard was full of activity. People will come in. It's like it's basically a flea market. But of course, then later on, I remember there was one time when actually, so Happy told me, he told me, and he asked me, Paul, if we could just watch his table, because and then help him, if you can, just pack up something and put it one side because he needed to perform on the stage. I was like, okay, so what is it there? I know somebody was in the music, all this, but I said, perform what? He said, I have a hardcore band. I was like, okay. So that is when I had the first exposure to the underground scene, or underground gig happening. So I and my friend Paul, we stayed back. We packed our things, but we had to collapse the table and the chair and put one side because people were coming to the courtyard and the stage was getting ready. The concrete stage was getting ready, I think. So, but we stayed back and we saw hardcore gig, and I was like, okay. So this is what you don't really have the term underground scene yet, but underground, but you know that this music was not your radio friendly music, right? And then of course you see the mosh pit, in those days, whatever was a mosh pit, and it's like, okay, so it's a much more heavy, hard hitting sound, but there's also hardcore punk. There's also a lot of shouty sing-alongs, youth crew songs. People were shouting to it and things like that. Okay, it's interesting because I was listening to metal music in those days. It was influenced by my father, so I was listening to new wave of British metal, right? Your Judas Priest, your Black Sabbath, all those days. This is totally different, totally not within what you hear on tapes and things like that. So started to get interested in it, and then of course you had Bigo magazine coming out by the Sia brothers, and that in those days was again no internet. Right, no YouTube. The only was through word of mouth, was through reading all these magazines or zines or what have you. And so I did, due to lack of financial thing also. I mean, in those days tickets were like $3, $5. Yeah, to us now it's cheap, but in those days it's a lot of money actually. Back in the,
Some $2 can buy, $1 can buy chicken rice. No, 50 cents, right? 50 cents.
Wow, that was that. Yeah, but that was much longer. But I mean, at that time was like you could buy chicken rice for like $1.50.
One prata, how much, Gary, at the point of time?
Sorry?
20 cents.
One prata.
30 cents.
20 cents, 30 cents.
I think it was even cheaper. I think it was only 20 cents.
Wow.
20 cents. Yeah, correct. So yeah, it has come a long way, lah. Right, the scene has come a long way, and I'm happy to do my part to help the scene. I don't ask for anything in return monetary. I mean, just as long as the bands carry on producing their music and putting on shows and embracing the DIY culture and the DIY ethos and do their best to develop the scene, help the younger ones to come up to the scene and do, and just to make sure that the scene is alive. I think that's my reward, personally, as far as I'm concerned, and I'm happy to be doing it. People may ask, but you're not working now, how you get it? Wow, I mean, I do the ancillary services like printing, and I only do printing projects related to only the underground scene. I don't do any projects for any other industry and things like that. So I try to make sure that everybody can afford it, right? The price is low enough, affordable, probably enough for me to buy Coke and more than happy already.
That's for those who don't know.
How many
right?
cartons?
Bottle.
How many cartons a week, Gary?
By the pellets.
No. On average, I switched to Coke Zero for a couple of years, right? So I think on average I drink about, so a 1.5 liter I probably drink about what? If I'm happy, 3 bottles. If I'm not happy, 2 bottles a day. So you're talking about 3 liters to 4.5
A day,
liters.
You're angry,
a day.
If I'm angry, that's a
That
different
one,
thing.
take out a chivas. Together with the Coke Zero.
Maybe I might throw the bottle instead of drinking the bottle.
Angry Pepsi.
Yeah, for those who don't know, right, what Gary does is like what he said. He takes pictures of and records underground scene gigs for archival, but also the ancillary services. So this include like what, printing gig posters.
So
Can you?
so right, like bands may say, or organizers say, I want to print some gig posters. Maybe I print some tickets, print some stickers. And I could use supply plain color wristbands, no printing, just plain color wristbands. And then of course for bands may also want to print their stickers. And of course this year in January I started to do bespoke CD production, right, for underground bands. I think so year to date I've done 11 albums so far. Right. Of course, Boden is.
Actually, right, you say Boden, right, but no one knows who you are. Because we never introduced ourselves yet. I forgot.
we forgot to introduce ourselves.
Hi guys, my name is Shak. I play drums in a band called Boden.
I'm Nash. I play guitar for this band called Assault.
And he's also the owner of Treble Cube Studios.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, Hanish is not a permanent member, but he is now.
No, I'm not.
Alamak, no.
He's a roving member when you need to fill in the slots.
I say Hanish
I
can
came in
come,
for the food.
come
And
in whenever he wants.
That's what she said.
He owns the place, so he can come wherever he wants.
Wherever he wants.
can turn off also, so you better be nice.
Hey, let Zan introduce himself. Like,
Sorry.
I always get cut off one, don't worry. My name is Zan. I play in a band called Boden also. I play in other bands, but no need to talk about it lah.
Ex-band.
Okay.
My name is Sham and I don't play in Boden nor Assault.
Hey, why?
But you play in a band.
I play in a band.
what's your band called?
For you to find out.
Sekelang Kids.
Kids.
So all of us have different backgrounds. Like Boden is only 2-piece. Is me and Zan. We play progressive instrumental. Hanesh is Assault is a 5-piece melodic black metal, death metal band. Sorry. I would say black metal.
Black metal you don't mind,
Death metal band.
I thought you're Scar band.
African American
I
metal.
thought I pops.
Sorry, because
You play brown metal. Progressive brown.
But it's confusing, isn't it? Malay or Filipino? It can be anything.
But we all know their group chat is a private chat.
And then Sekelang Kid is a pop punk / can I say emo band, punk emo kind of thing. You do have emo influences. Not Midwest
Progressive,
emo.
melodic. I also don't know.
Progressive melodic Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift, yeah. We play Taylor Swift.
As of the last gig.
As of the last day.
Then Gary,
I had no bands.
Have you ever touched an instrument before?
No.
Even
I never.
that's why I saw you touch the guitar.
I when I was young, I saw my classmates or schoolmates in school. Sometimes they bring guitar to play. During last time in those days when there's no exam or when it's before the school holidays, right? So you actually have no classes. I mean, you still go to school, but there are no classes. The teachers are busy marking the exam scripts. So so the class usually we do everything you want. You just play games or whatever. Play board games. Some people bring guitar. So yeah, I really admire people who manage to play the guitars. I always wondering that how would it be like if I actually were to try and learn a guitar. But that's the only thing. Thing is very easy. But then you're always distracted by other things and realize, nah, it's okay lah. You guys carry the guitar. It's really a bit of hassle. So on board the bus, so I'll leave it to you guys.
Yes.
Well, you just come to class, bring it and play, and we'll just try and sing along and not cue the song. So eventually, I know much as I would love to, no. I think there were other interests which were more appealing to me. So in that case, being a non-musician, I appreciate anybody that plays music. People will say, "Oh yeah, but this music doesn't." Hey, you can play an instrument in my books. I'm fine with that, because I can't play. So I can't. It's not right for me to criticize me. But you can play a melody, you can play a riff, and you can play a whole song. You can perform in a gig. Hey, I'm happy with that.
Never too late to start. Just say.
I think my fingers are already too stiff already. I can't bend the fingers.
Gary, we taught you a few sayings, right? What change your
underwear?
So yeah, thanks to all these people that I'm mixing with.
Oh shit! I don't know.
I lost.
So now, over these last few years or last couple of years, I mean, I learned a lot from people in the scene, right? People like Sean, people like Zan, all this. I've learned a lot about, not to become an expert, but to understand more about what's involved in sound engineering, what's involved in mixing, what is mastering. Then I think we come up with this palette of jokes that I probably should throw it around at the gig and hope that the guitar doesn't get smashed into my face.
Oh, change
maybe like if you see the guitarist, you can shout together, hey, better change your pickup. Or you see the bassist.
It's only me and him. That time we hang out with him that day.
And then, or you see a bassist like, hey, stand further away from the bass amp, it's too loud. Or you see the drummer, hey, your sticks are too sharp, bro. And even the sound engineer will also get it. Also like, hey, can you turn on bass boost on everything?
Turn on bass boost on everything.
And then the vocalist will get the best one. Stop cupping your mic.
Don't cup the mic.
So I mean, but
Oh,
this
God,
is,
remote.
this is just the understanding of my own understanding of what are some of the things that you guys know as muscle memory. But to me, it's like, being a person that doesn't do this every day is not muscle memory. So yeah, but it enhances the knowledge and it makes it more fun. So that when I go to gigs now, while shooting, I'm also sometimes I see the way it's set up. I was like, okay, understand. I sort of understand why they're doing this and that, But then when I see the amount of equipment that's brought, I was like, okay, yeah, okay. I don't want to go into too much detail, but I roughly know what is going on, but how is the intricate part? Yeah, I leave it to you guys. You guys are the experts, and you guys are the one playing the music.
Announcement. If anyone wants short snippets of Gary saying, "Don't cup the mic," I will gladly record it in 48,000 quality.
You set it as a ringtone.
So you can set it as a message or ringtone.
SMS to get the ringtone. Old school a bit.
You can clip all these things what you say, right?
Can make a ransom note out of all the words that Gary is saying.
And then you give it to every venue. Then you tell the owner or the Sanjay venue, wherever you feel that you just press this button and the sound come out.
You know how DJs they've got press the button and don't cup the mic.
And then the vocalist like, what the fuck? Gary's not here. Why is he saying this?
This one can be a PSA poster every venue.
Yes, actually.
PSA poster.
For your merch, Gary?
Yeah, for your merch.
No, I mean, I'm happy with just taking a photo. I mean, the fact that bands, organizers, bands, people involved in the setting up the thing, that they get together to hold a gig. And I'm happy to just have the chance and the opportunity to be there, to see them play live. And of course, to shoot their photos or record a gig. I mean, that's really, I think, I don't need much to promote in that sense. Just keep me in the background and I'm more than happy. The spotlight is not on me. The spotlight is on the people that put the effort into creativity, who fork out the money to set up the gig and things like that. I think these are people that I take my hat off to. And I don't envy that job or that task. Okay, I know it's not easy. And I'm happy to be able to hear it in my 2 ears and see it in my 2 eyes. I'm more than happy with that already. So yeah, that's my reward. A lot of people have asked how, and I think some of you also asked me, how do I have the stamina to maintain, shooting like 4 gigs in 4 days, 6 gigs in 7 days. Shooting
overseas also.
And not only Singapore, I'm shooting JB also, right? Rocking jams in JB. How do I travel? You shoot tomorrow JB, next day Singapore, and then back to JB. I think it's pure adrenaline.
At first, I thought you want to escape from your wife, no?
That could be the main reason. But
Clip.
It's pure adrenaline. It's coke, pure adrenaline, and maybe you put it, if you want to look at it holistically, I'm sucking the energy from the younger people in the crowd. The crowd gives off the energy. So I'm actually sucking in, keeping myself energized. And even when you go home, the buzz is still there. It may die down, but then the buzz will keep you awake for a short while. You go to sleep, you wake up next morning, and it's like, okay, I need a shot of that buzz again. And go for that. So that is actually what, maybe that's, I'm not saying a secret, but that's how I keep my stamina up.
So that buzz is a bit addictive, like you like that shot of buzz. Okay,
correct.
Okay.
So it gives me. Some people say that life gives you the energy. Yeah, this is actually what it is. Probably also has to do with age. At my age now, I'm not working full time anymore. So but you still need to do something to keep yourself occupied. You can't be sitting there 4 walls watching TV. You die very fast. Your brain will just rot away. You need something to keep the energy of the body, and I guess the underground gigs are the one factor.
How old are you now again, Gary?
So
40.
This year, no. I wish I can start my age with the number 4, but no. So this year, 2023, I'm 52 in October. So next year will be 53. So I mean, the running joke is that I'm just waiting for another 3 years. When I hit 55, I take my CPF and I quit the scene. That's a running joke.
It's a joke.
Quit the scene.
You say it's a
Must
joke.
be a joke.
Hopefully it's a joke. Hopefully.
It's a joke.
I think you buy more gear.
Yeah,
maybe more.
or maybe I go mainstream. You guys are on your own. You guys are on your own. I'll go mainstream.
So you want to start the controversy?
Yeah,
controversial
I'll sell
stuff
the
now.
scene.
Okay, get it. So I start with
What you mean by mainstream now?
One question actually. This actually related to you a bit.
me.
Yeah, Gary, would you consider yourself an introvert or extrovert? Because every time you go to gig, people will talk to you. Do you feel burnout from talking to people?
No.
Do you want to be alone sometimes?
No. I actually no, I'm not an introvert. From young, I was never introvert.
Okay.
But I will not purposely make an effort to go out of the way. Okay. But then if anybody comes to me and wants to speak, I'm more than happy to carry on a conversation. I'm the reason why I may not, like if you see me at the gig, the reason why I may not be the one to take a first step, because actually there's a lot of things that I look at or I'm thinking of when at the gig. Because things like, okay, even if I've been to the venue many times, but different bands are playing. So different bands have different styles of how they move on the stage. So I'm also trying to, I think some people might have seen me doing that. Not everybody, but some people say, they see me go to a gig, the gig hasn't started yet, okay, it's still being set up, but then they may see me walking around, standing in a position and just staring at that position, and then after I move to another, that's because I'm, in a way, I'm trying to visualize.
Okay, you're warm up.
You're working your mind.
Like, okay, when I'm, so, and at the same time, I'm looking for things like the lighting. So if there's lighting going on in the venue, it's like, okay, how far would the lighting hit? Okay, because sometimes some venues, maybe the guitarist might be in the shadows. So I need to mentally prepare that if the guitarist stands in the shadows more time, when I turn my camera to the guitar, I might have to, by memory muscle, move the ISO, increase the ISO, or lower the aperture, or whatever. You know? So these are the things. So every time there's much as I like to hope that a gig is always the same, even at the same premise, the lighting, but there's always different conditions. So, and some band members are more active in their movement. Right, so this is what people call walk the ground. So I do my own mental walk the ground.
So you do your own sound check?
Yeah, I do my own photography check.
Photography check.
And it's also sometimes to also, and because you guys know that I do the GoPro recording from 2 different angles, so it's also to try and see angles for the GoPro recording, which angle is better. So yeah, so because there's so many other things I'm thinking about also, so. It may seem like I don't really approach people, but then if a person comes to me and talk, I'm more than happy to.
Okay.
Because I would say probably this is the only time when most of us in the scene will get to see one another at gigs.
Yeah.
Because each of us have our own daily things or daily life, real life things that we do, so we may not have a chance to catch up outside of the gig. So I will, if I see people at the gig, everybody want to talk. I'm more than happy. I'm more than happy to let's catch up. What's happening, things like that. And little breaks in between band sets. That's that 10-minute break. That may be enough. And then after the gig, we can catch up. There's no problem. Go for supper, or whatever. No problem. So it's just I guess I'm not introvert in that sense, but I'm not the super extrovert. I'm just an average neutral guy, but I'll respond to people because that's the only time, and I really want to make sure that, I mean, who knows, right? maybe I won't be around. Maybe others may not be around. But I want, so whatever time we have, I think this is important for those to sit. Yeah. I mean, when you're young, you don't really think about this, right? You think that, the world is my oyster. I still have I'm only 20, I'm only 30. I got a long way to go. But when you pass the point of 50 years old, you are actually counting down the years instead of counting up the number of years. But the problem is you do not know how much to count down, and I think that's the part. So you tend to have a different perspective of life, and you tend to enjoy more on the company of friends. Because you know that time is a bit limited. It is limited. Yeah.
So you said like it's also to prevent your brain from rotting, like so rot, right? You said that, right? Because you do all this so you can keep your mind active, prevent the rot from happening.
Because I'm no longer working full time, so you don't have a daily routine, right? That you do on the day. So these little pockets of things which I do on weekends, or like if I'm doing printing projects, on weekdays I'm doing printing projects, or weekdays I may do other things, related to the scene. These are little things. These are things which help keep the mind active. You don't need to do a lot to keep the mind active, but you just need to make the mind think and do things with your hand-eye coordination and things like that. And this keeps the mind alive rather than let it vegetate.
Yeah, basically rot lah. So what rhymes with rot? Worm.
What?
Worm rot.
Off sah. Say rhymes sah.
That's
Mana you drama?
I
not the drama.
Because Zan said controversial stuff so I start. Sorry, I don't know, my transition very bad. It was meant to be bad. It was bad on purpose.
No, you say you must talk about it already.
No,
What is it you want to
you talk about it.
Okay, like we change topic. So when we got
This is part 2.
How do you say? I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay, anyway, what? Okay, how about this? I reframe the question a bit. What
Politically
are your-
correct question.
What are your pet peeves in the Singapore? Okay, for that, if you had to say describe the music scene, right? Singapore music scene in like one sentence, how would you describe it?
You talking about music scene as in underground scene or in the rest of the?
Let's say underground scene for
Yeah.
things for people viewers out there, right, who have never experienced this. People who are more into music because music is more televised, right, or more publicized, right. Underground is like if you know, you know. If
Underground
you don't,
is like a subculture. That's why it's called underground now, lah.
Yeah, how do you describe
it's
it?
below the mainstream
But how do you
level.
describe
of,
it? Like
In one sentence.
Yeah.
In
you
one
can lah.
sentence?
If you can lah.
Wow. Okay.
Because I want to go inside the next thing already.
You want
so,
ChatGPT?
Yeah, I think I should turn out ChatGPT. No, in one sentence for Singapore underground scene, I think it is a scene. It is a play. It is a scene worth spending your time to support, your time and effort to support. I think I can put it this way. Now talk about currently,
yeah,
okay. So
currently.
in the current
Last time not nice.
That means there was a time where it wasn't good to support.
not really, but I mean in the current status as it is now with all that's going on with the hive of activity, and things like that, I think it is the underground scene in Singapore welcomes all, and it is a good place to spend your time. And if you want to contribute, it's a good place to spend your effort, because the returns may not be that sort of a tangible return that you think of in terms of a transactional type of value, right? But I think music is for the soul. Okay, much as people like say, oh yeah, we don't make money, yeah, but music actually also is for the soul. So I think for a person to be involved, maybe just as an audience, or you want to be involved in some ways to contribute to the scene, it can be a very satisfying thing. That being said, it will also depend on the person itself. Some may be able to do it only for short term, some may be able to do it for medium term, some may do it for long term, some may not do it consistently. So there is no hard and fast rule that you fulfill 10 years and that's
Your sentence long.
Get it? When you say some, who are you referring to?
okay. I think that's a trick question.
I thought, but that was one paragraph.
Yeah, it's a long sentence.
For me,
It's a very long sentence actually, with commas in the center.
I thought you would say something like DIY or die or something.
But that's the ethos.
Oh, ethos.
But
Okay.
not everybody can embrace the ethos of DIY or die, the DIY culture in the scene.
I have a question for you. Because you are in a position where you're, I would say, lucky to have gone through different eras of the music scene.
Well, I've seen different eras.
eras.
Yeah, correct.
Like, okay, you talked about Substation at that time.
Yeah.
With the flea markets and the hardcore gigs.
Yeah.
Now,
Well, not only hardcore gigs. I mean, later on, the other
gigs,
punk gigs, everything, all they came in. I think the
Then-
metal gigs also.
now you've seen like youngsters going through, like probably going through at that age, right? When
Right.
you kind of had that feeling of like, going to the gigs for the first time and whatnot. Do you think like, would you want to imagine if you could have a clean slate and started at this time?
That's a very good question, because I think over the last couple of years, at some gigs, some of the younger ones, but in that time, as I said again, some of them at that time they were young, but today they are all much older, grown up, more matured. But in those days, I think I had some young ones who were asking me also, they're like, oh, what was it like in the old days, seeing bands play, and how is it different from modern thing? I think music, the underground scene ethos is still there. But what has changed is that the bands of today, or the younger bands, the younger people, they are fortunate to have access to a lot of resources which have been recorded from past and brought forward today, right? You have YouTube, you have websites, you have information resources that they can refer to, and that actually gives them some idea of what it was like, and they take these ideas and they generate and evolve them into their own musical journey and output, and create new sounds.
It's the evolution of.
It's an evolution. I mean, that's one thing about the underground scene, the genres in underground scene. Every generation evolves a sound, right? So that is what makes it exciting. That's what makes underground exciting. It's like, oh yeah, it used to be 16-bit percussion. Then it became a hardcore mix with power violence. Then it became all this evolution, and then now you got D beats into hardcore songs. Metallic riffs into hardcore songs. Like the bloody Constitution. I mean, their new EP is just amazing. Shout out to them. They are bringing metal riffs into a hardcore song. I mean, so they have the benefit of all these resources, and they are turning out new sounds which makes a person want to listen more, to find out more. Like, how did these guys do it? And we have younger. Now, I don't mind shouting out bands like Ballad Star, like bloody playing 70s garage rock grunge style. It's like a throwback to the 70s or the British garage. I mean, like, where do they get these experiences from?
Because they weren't even born then.
Yeah, but the fact that they have resources that they can refer to, and they're actually bringing a cycle back. I mean, you can say sometimes music is a cycle, right? Things go past, and then what used to be old becomes new again, So yeah, this is what drives people to sometimes want to keep on listening or understanding underground music. What's going to happen next? What's the next band? Oh, these bands come out. What are they going to sound like? What's it? And you'll be surprised, right? The resources. So I think there's this difference, and this is what makes the scene now more exciting. So if you ask me why wipe a clean slate, if I were to wipe a clean slate, why start? Yes, because right now, if I were to, let's say, if I wipe a clean slate, I have no idea about what's underground, and now one of you pulls me down and says, hey, look, this is, it's like mainstream music in the 80s, when it's like every day you're getting what you call retro hits now. But in those days, like, you got new bands coming out and a new wave of style, new wave of music, new wave Monday music. Yeah, I would be more than happy if I had a chance to start from clean slate and discover new sounds happening today. But I would love it. I really would love it, and it's something that will encourage people that wants to experience creativity. We're talking about creativity. We're not talking about commercialism. We're talking about creativity, that no holds bar creativity that allows the musician to really push the boundary, even beyond their age. Doing music styles that are beyond their age or even before their time. Yeah, I think it's a very exciting time, and I think this applies to all underground scene across the world.
Yeah, I think from my experience, because I think among you guys, right, I would say I'm the latest to join the underground scene, because I played a few shows at Decline, Substation, and all this, right, but I wasn't really involved in it. Then after COVID, right, I didn't play in bars anymore, and then I think the first show that we actually did together, or rather not perform, was actually Punkadelic. Remember I tell you guys how I didn't know it was this exciting.
Yeah.
Oh, you hooked, right?
Yeah. After that, I was like, hey, actually this, even okay lah. You will say, okay, if let's say you play at a bar or something like that, right? There's monetary returns.
Yeah.
But I think in the underground scene, monetary returns is not the main goal.
Yeah.
It's more like what Gary said, is a food for the soul, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's music for the soul, really.
Yeah.
Despite what happened during Punkadelic, right? So all the bullshit that happened, which we will never get into it. It's actually a fun gig,
Yeah, it was a fun gig.
Okay, one moment I can remember, right? Flush. Everything was like the aircon off.
He start shooting you already, Anish.
What the fucking bullshit happened?
And then come.
No,
Then you remember, right, the power.
they played like the World Cup songs. They were so fucking awesome, man. Ole. That's the one thing I remember. Other than that, I can't remember much, but I remember top of my head. That's the thing. That was so damn fun.
And even when there's a lot of cock-ups, right, everyone was still having fun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
My God.
I mean, I think that's one thing about the DIY culture in the underground scene. We are DIY culture. We're not here to everything must be a fucking script or structure that no. It is an underground gig. Anything can and will happen.
Yeah.
We just try to make the best of it, right? We just try to enjoy
makes
it.
it more fun as well.
And it's more fun. It's more, and I think that's where the word comes in, and that's the word I believe. It's more organic, right? That's where I associate the word organic with underground scene at its very base level, where things we just take things as they are, right? We try our best. We are not rock stars. We just try our best to do what we can to make the gig fun for all. I think the most important is fun for all. We want everybody to have a good time. And we want everybody to still have the buzz when they, the buzz of the energy when they leave the venue. They're still, they probably on their way home they'll still be humming to the song or sing a song. Next day they wake up, they may feel a bit hangover if they drink too much, but then they'll still remember. We were shouting to that song and singing the song and doing all the funny antics, despite the aircon breaking down at your side here.
Oh, you mean this one? This aircon.
For 50 people, but then 150 come.
You see, we're not rock stars, right? Some people think they are. Yeah.
Okay, before you all go crazy, right? Gary, you said that our gigs are not structured, right? Can I ask you one question? Has any underground gig ever start on time?
We believe in something called punk timing.
Or not tumbler timing?
Oh, that means can start before.
Punk timing means, in those days, like punk timing is like, you're given that time range, right? Okay, it starts at 7, we start at 5 and we finish by 10. Yeah, but there's always that tolerance plus minus. The problem is that tolerance can be a factor of a few hundred times. So like, okay, let's have a 10-minute tolerance. How about 100 minutes tolerance? But that is what makes it exciting. We never know what's going to come on. The band rundown may be there, but then it's like, you know what? Let's change the order. The guy hasn't arrived yet. The guy hasn't arrived yet. Why don't this band plays first, and then when the guy come in, and there's that level of unpredictability. But then I think that's what today is much better. We try now. People, of course, we try to keep on time to be fair to everybody, right? We don't want people to spend unnecessary transport fare to go home because you want to play punk timing. Yeah. Let's finish at 1 o'clock in the morning. Everybody takes a cab home. But I think organizers do try their best, and the venues also sometimes have limitations, right? So we try their best. But there's still sometimes the element of unpredictability. So that makes it a fun gig, like you do not know what's going to happen next. But we try to mitigate. I think organizers and bands try to mitigate a lot of this issue, which I think everybody appreciates. But then the most important thing is we all have a good time.
Would you say that the unstructured and then all these kind of late timings and all this, would you say that it's very endearing to the underground scene? Yeah,
let's be honest. If you want a structured timing and everything like that, go attend a mainstream gig. It starts on time, it finishes on time.
Actually, no, not all the time. Mainstream also they say start this time, but
you have a proper stage manager that will chase you off and signals to you and give you play card signals or light flashing in your eyes telling you got 5 minutes, 2 minutes or whatever. They have the infrastructure there because they have.
Are you talking about BB?
No, not any name, but they are structured in a sense that they are running it as a business.
They're getting paid,
it's a business. Yeah. It's a commercial business. So time is money, right? So that drive, that motivating factor, sometimes I can't blame them. They are running as a business. Okay, I don't fault them for it. But then that's where the line is drawn, right? You guys run it as a business. You do it as your business. You look at your return on investment. You look at whether time is money. Every hour I need to pay overtime and things like that. Okay, fine. You guys go ahead and do it. But I think the rest. I think the underground scene, we don't really look at it this way. We try not to think of it this way. Right? We just want everybody to have a good time. The bands have a good time. If the bands can do an encore, and if the venue owner is like, one more song is fine. Let's do it. Just do it just for the hell of it and let everybody go off at a high point. We're not that rigid in the underground scene. We don't believe in that.
Okay. Yeah. Before we get to the spicy stuff, right, I want to introduce some spicy hot sauce that I bought. Yeah, so this hot sauce is from Thai's Kitchen. I buy myself, yeah.
Who's going to pay for all this? Who's going to pay for all this?
Okay. So I actually have. So there's the time my workplace, right, there was a flea market. Then the one flea market was a hot sauce stand. So I bought 4 hot sauces from them. It's from Thai's Kitchen. I'll probably link it in the caption somewhere. I don't know. I bought 4. There's actually 6. So each hot sauce comes from a different country, or it's a flavor of a different country. So I have Mexican. So this one is typical Mexican hot sauce. Then I also have USA. So it's very sweet. Tastes a lot of like caramelized onions. I have Thai, so a bit of fish sauciness, and that is what it's called
Brazil.
So you can taste it, right? There's some banana taste inside it. It's very nice.
Pisang.
Singapore, I got sambal belacan.
Tastes like belacan. Too much belacan. I
So
don't like.
hot Brazil sauce. After you eat it, you probably start singing the girl from Ipanema.
No, seriously. Zan, you try. Is it spicy or not? Is it spicy or not? I think you can try a bit. It's really not spicy at all.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, it's very flavorful.
So okay, I'll eat the
Bicycle
cookies.
horse.
Okay.
Are you sure
Nice,
you
right?
don't try?
You open one next.
Sure you don't. Open lah.
Open the USA.
Try all lah. Mix up.
Mexico. You Mexico.
Brazil.
I prefer
It's from
like
Brazil.
Thailand girls.
Brazil.
I didn't buy Thailand. I didn't Thailand. Yeah.
Yeah, Thai has that
Follow
sweet.
you.
Thai has that fish sauce, fish
Yeah.
soy sauce.
Can I
Okay,
get
Mexico. You want Mexico?
some ties?
You want Mexico?
I want some ties.
Pass.
So the Mexico you probably go orale after you go probably go orale after eating it.
Yeah, open this one.
So can you describe the taste for me, Zan?
Uh,
What's the sauce you try? You're trying now?
tastes like bossa nova. No, just no, yeah, tastes like banana.
Oh, you can taste the streets of Mexico.
Gary, can I ask you a question while we're doing all this?
Yep.
Okay.
What kind of
Actually,
music
what
do you like
else?
to listen to? When during your free time, you know when you cut your stuff, when you are hyper focusing, right? What kind of music do you listen
No
to?
influence from outside, like
Yeah.
influence, like.
So
what
I think one thing for me is
K-pop,
that
eh?
one thing easy for me is that I actually am willing to try all sort of music. But whether I get into it is another thing. But I'm willing to try. But
Nice.
I have at my home. I have probably like a I don't know. Probably over the years, I have stopped buying CDs for a long time already. But I probably currently have about I think since the last time I bought, which I don't know how many donkey years ago, I think I built up about probably a 400-500 CD collection for myself. But then it's
Vinyls?
minor no because I don't really have a record player at home. I used a record player in the younger days, right? It was a Denon record player in the younger days, but and my father used to have a lot of vinyl record. But after we moved house, everything, and when CDs came to the picture,
Yeah.
it was easier lah. Yeah, but I listen to a lot. So, but when I like a particular band or genre, I go all in if I can. So like if you talk about, I have like soundtracks. So I listen to science fiction soundtracks, fantasy soundtracks. I like soundtracks in general. Okay, so you need people like James Horner, Alan Silvestri,
Bowden?
Yeah, that's why when I did when I was given the files to do the Bowden's album, right? I love the music because first of all, it's almost like it reminded me of a style, the same genre style as like Princess Bride. That sort of a fantasy, fantasy based type of thing. And I can jive with it because I listen to a lot of fantasy soundtracks, right? So that I like it. But then of course there's also science fiction soundtrack, and then I also listen to I listen to a bit of anime soundtrack, but it's not the modern anime. It's really back in the 80s style anime.
Like Macross, that kind?
Macross, yes, not Gundam unfortunately, but Macross. But other things like Project Echo, which is a very old anime back in the 80s, and Project Echo, Project Biko, things like that.
Biko, Kako.
Echo Biko Siko. Echo Biko Siko, yeah.
Echo Biko Siko.
Then you had things like Gunsmith Cat, which one girl likes hand grenades, one girl likes guns, and they are like mercenaries and something like that. So Girls and Panzer. So I like.
Oh shit!
Yeah, Girls and Panzer. Yeah, so I have the soundtrack for Girls and Panzer, the soundtrack for Strike Witches, the soundtrack for.
You mean the tank anime?
Yes, the girl.
You watch that also?
Yeah, he's the one
Hell
who said just now.
yeah!
I have all the figures. I have all the Figma. I have the
Shit.
one chop scale tanks, everything like that at home. Yeah.
I mean, because you play War of Tanks, obviously makes sense.
Yeah.
I didn't make the connection.
Is the
Holy
school,
shit.
school
But
is
I-
the
but-
one tank or something?
Yes,
That's
that's
the
one tank.
The CCA, the CCA is.
Yeah,
I don't watch.
I know about it.
Yeah, but
I don't watch. He just told me just now.
yeah, but then
shit.
because
But he
I,
said like this what school is like the German tank lah.
so they have specialized. So the main protagonist is
Competition,
Oraye High School, which is a mixed.
You remember
mixed
all the
school.
names?
Yeah, then of course
I
you had
remember.
Kiromone, which is the German, right? You had St. Gloriana, which is your British, And so yeah,
fish tank.
I like military related anime. So
Okay, shit.
Girls and Panzer, Strike Witches, Kantai Collection, Azure Lane, which is the ship, the girls and the
Azure
ship,
Lane,
right?
yeah, the one,
Strike Witches, a girl and aircraft.
Okay.
Or World War II aircraft, right?
Okay.
Then you have things like Gate, which is they open a portal. The modern Tokyo suddenly has a portal that opens up into the fantasy world.
You like that,
And then the modern Japanese
yeah,
armed
yeah.
forces actually enter the
Correct. And then this kill all the
correct,
dragons and all that. Yeah.
So basically, military related and science fiction related
I know.
anime.
Okay, to me, I get like Japanese propaganda. It's showing the might of the Japanese military.
Yeah, the JFDF, yes,
yeah,
correct.
a bit cheesy.
Correct. It's a bit cheesy, but it's
Gate
fun.
about?
It's called Gate. So basically, right, there's a portal from fantasy world opens up to modern Tokyo.
Yeah.
And the activists are being killed. So the military retaliate back. So they fight the bad guys, but they build good relations with the good guys, the good kingdom, that kind of thing.
Correct. And then the kingdom were using magic and things like that. And here you
Yeah.
have
Machine
armed
guns.
forces, tanks, aircraft going into the portal and.
But is this like an old anime?
No.
2000, early 2000,
Early
mid 2010.
Mid 2010, yes.
2010, yeah.
It was only one season. I think it was only like child.
Yeah.
The protagonist was this guy who was
A slacker.
a slacker. He's a
Yeah.
slacker in the army, in the military force, but somehow other he
nice,
becomes the leading character
Yeah.
in forging alliances with
Correct.
with the
Nice
kingdoms.
main
And,
character.
Yeah, he joined the army to buy anime figurines.
Yes, correct.
That's why he joined the army. He don't care about anything. I just want to get money to buy anime
But end up
figurines.
being like the
Yes, correct.
Becoming the
He's
savior.
But he's an anime himself.
He's the anime character.
No, this is an anime,
yeah.
Japanese
in
anime.
the anime world.
In the anime world,
He
yeah.
buy anime.
Yeah, he buy
Yeah, he
anime.
buy anime, yes, correct.
He buy anime, yeah.
Man, blasted.
Yeah. So like there's one
blasted
scene
man.
right where the soldiers, the medieval soldiers, right, hold the shield, right? They say, "Oh, we are the strongest forever." Then the people in the machine like, "Okay, machine gun, mow them down." Then they die. Then like, what the fuck? How come? How did I die so easily? How did I defeat so easily? What happened? Wow. And it was one time because some medieval times, like, they a bit misogynistic, so they thought, "Oh, it's
Yeah.
only a girl, you cannot fight." So this GSDF female recruit, right?
Your G.I. Jane, basically.
Yeah, G.I. Jane. She used a knife. She just like 1v5 everyone. And then the soldiers all like, "Oh my god, how did the elite bodyguards get got KO'd?"
I mean, I like this kind of soundtrack because they provide that. The soundtrack is important because it provides an element of action and excitement to the anime itself. So yeah, I mean, I listen to soundtrack. This is anime. If you talk about pop music from 70s, shit, I'm a big fan of ABBA, Bonnie M, Bee Gees, Beatles. Right? I think I probably can memorize every lyrics of the ABBA discography. I hope so, lah. You know. But I mean, we will every Sunday in our house, growing up. Sundays are never a quiet day in the house. First thing, if my father wakes up at 9 o'clock, first thing he on is either put in the records or put in the CD or put in the cassette, and music is blasted through the day until evening time. It can be any type of music. Right? I'm also into military marching music. If anybody plays military marching, I mean, I'm into your Suzas, I'm into your Radetzky March, into your Under the Double Eagle, your, I mean, all these are the famous
Actually,
marching music.
I'm curious. Can we listen to some marching music right now, Son? Is it possible?
My hand's dirty.
Got you. No, I mean,
Hey, you try to remember how it sounds like, then you try.
I'm
to
actually curious. I want to know like what kind of marching music is
No, you can look for the famous
Purple Light.
No. Well, actually, interestingly, some of our SAF military marches were actually foreign military marches, especially from the British. Yes, I mean, being a marching fan, I also listen to our SAF military march. They used to have a tape. Back, I think it was sold during the 1982 SAF Open Day, and there was a open house, and there was a tape of military marches. So in those days, there wasn't such a thing called the SAF Central Band. Every service had their own band. So there was a Singapore Air Force Band, Singapore Navy Band, Singapore Army Band.
Okay.
That was the famous, I think one of the famous conductors of that time, military conductor was Captain Dragoon. So in those days, Singapore marches were very based on the British or the US.
His name is Dragoon.
Dragoon, yes, Dragoon.
Dragoon.
G-O-N, yes.
The Beyblade.
Yeah. And I still have the tape. Till today, I still have the tape, but I digitized the tape into MP3s. But I still have the tape, and that was like our, all the SAF marches were there. Like much of the Singapore Air Force, much of the Singapore Navy, the Army, combat engineers, artillery, commandos, guards. They each have got their own
band.
Yeah.
and that's usually what you hear at National Day, when the.
Gary, can you give us one example of a military?
So you can look for maybe the US military marching music called Under the Double Eagle.
Under the
Double Eagle.
Under the Double Eagle.
Okay,
yeah.
wait. So back to his name, Captain Dragoon. So he's local,
Yeah, he's a
Singaporean.
Eurasian. He's a Eurasian.
Eurasian.
Yeah,
His surname is Dragoon.
Dragoon, yes.
What's his full name?
Yes.
Michael
Under the Double
Dragoon?
Eagle.
Kaiser Dragoon?
Yes.
Kaiser.
Wagner, yes.
I guess it's Kaiser, right? Kaiser.
Sounds.
You guys ready?
Okay, wait, what's his first name? Do you know his first name? Captain Dragoon.
Oh, no, I will go back. And,
Okay. No, I'm just curious.
I think it could be G, I think.
Let's flip
Okay.
it.
Gary Dragoon.
It might be Gerard.
Gerard
I need to go back and look at the tape. Yeah.
John.
Under the Double Eagle.
Play
by Wagner.
under the double eagle.
Under the double eagle. You're listening to Hot Sauce.
Yeah, this is the one. Correct. Correct, that's under.
Got breakdown.
Left.
How many beat is this?
Left,
Is it a 4/4 beat?
Left.
It's not 11 beat, I know.
So they'll do the left.
Yeah, so this is where
Left,
the march
right,
begins.
left.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
So this is the typical
Marching songs.
marching song. This is the US.
Yes.
This was adopted as the US military marching song. Our British, you have British. German, you have German.
That means like different countries got their own
Own style,
lah,
yes,
in a way, right?
correct. And the cadence and beat is different for different style.
So you should play like from another.
Play German one. Got German one.
So this is when you're drum and everybody is marching the left and but you can't two-step to this.
Hey,
Everything is possible,
It's a test lah.
Don't daring people, bro. You are daring people.
Tenzin can two-step to this.
So this is US one. You can try the German one if you want.
Okay, one more. Yeah, German.
Okay, so you can.
To horse meet.
Berlin.
No. But the song is
But
the
the
US
song is
military.
US one.
Yeah. Okay, you can try another one. The German is Radetzky. R-A-D-E-T.
It is Hitler's time or after Hitler?
Z-K-Y. Radetzky March. Yeah.
During.
So this is the German. No. It's actually, I think it's more of an Austrian one.
Okay.
So every year at the Vienna Opera, this is usually the finale song that they play. The Vienna Opera Orchestra will play this.
Okay.
And the whole crowd will clap along.
Nice.
It's not under terms of service or anything.
No. It's nothing to do with Nazi.
Just check.
It is nothing to do with Nazi.
Get ready?
Let's go.
This is the German style. So at this point, the conductor will get the audience to clap along. And you go louder. And this is where you go louder for that. So he had a very different style. A lot of brass sound.
Okay.
Which is the German style.
Sounds very wholesome, huh? Doesn't sound like marching music to me though. I think it's like an opera piece.
Yes.
Not really
Correct. Because it's especially when it's played by orchestra.
I see.
So you get the full works. But of course, it may sound different when there's a band playing it on the march. But in the orchestra, it's
I see.
very different.
But it does have that sound, a bit of that soundtrack vibe
Yeah.
also.
Correct.
When they marching, right, do they have strings? Because some got strings.
No.
I don't think they
Usually a military
Brass.
marching band is brass.
Brass,
and percussion. Brass and
do.
percussion.
Brass, big bass drum, the snare, at most, right?
Snare, trombone,
Trumpet.
saxophone, not really.
Not
This
saxophone,
was trumpet,
Tuba. It's probably a
tuba,
big
trombone,
ass tuba.
then your snare, the big bass, a big kick drum. No, not big drum. Big drum. They not kick drum. Double kick drum. Yeah, you go there. But they have all the style. As they hit, they actually twirl. As they hit one side, they twirl the big. Stick on the other side, they twirl side. Yeah. So you get all this style. Yeah, these are classic military marches.
Okay.
These were I think 1800s or something like that. It's leftover military marches. So yeah, it's not related to the Second World War, but obviously it's used by a particular country lah, right? So yeah, so marches, because it's very maybe the lack of a better word, structured. There's always that beat, the same beat, the consistent beat.
Yeah.
You know.
And it has to be like the marching pace.
Yeah, it has a marching pace. It has a marching pace.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
correct.
yeah.
It has a marching pace.
Imagine 300 BPM.
But then you got to look also different countries. They have different marches lah, right? Like the Russians and the East Germans, they goose march. So goose march is actually goose step. Sorry, not goose. Goose step is where they leave their legs 90 degrees, come down, the next leg goes up 90 degrees, literally like stretching out the legs 90 degrees. It's not a normal V shape. It's 90 degrees. You know, so that is the music will be totally different. It's at a much faster pace because it's literally goose stepping. Yeah, that's what they literally. Yeah, they basically 90. The leg is 90 degrees lift up.
Try. Introversion, sorry.
Yeah, but you need to walk forward as you're doing that, and the leg is perfectly straight. Yeah, correct. Yes.
Yeah, move your arm, move.
Yes. And they don't really move their arms. They actually sometimes hold the gun like that and they goose step. They call it goose stepping, and that's usually most communist countries. Most communist countries actually do goose step. So even China also does goose step. Yeah, you look at the China Day, Victory Day celebrations or whatever.
Gary,
Goose step.
Gary, after this podcast, right, people see that instead of two-stepping, people will be goose step.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a bit hard to do a goose step, you know. Yeah,
so how did this goose dance started?
I'm trying to imagine the hardcore band saying, fucking goose step left to right now, and like everyone's like, yeah,
it's a cycle like side to side, front to back, side to side.
Okay,
let's goose this place up.
Tarik ni, cepat.
Remember, if anybody falls down, pick them up. Pick them up, yes, Sergeant.
But that's how. Sorry, that's how far and wide my music taste can be. I mean, as long as something that I enjoy, my brains enjoy, my heart enjoy. Yeah, I'll just listen to it. I mean, you only live once, so why not just try different style of music? And I do listen to also a bit of blues and jazz. I was talking to Zan earlier. I mean, John Lee Hooker, Chet Baker, and things like that. Right, your B.B. King, if your jazz, your Terry Trotter Trio. You know, I mean, yeah, I'm willing to try and experiment. You know, to listen, to try. If you don't try, you never know whether. At one time, there was also New Age music was a rave. New Age music was a rage in Singapore in one time.
What kind of New Age music are you talking about?
So New Age music is this tranquil, not necessarily tranquil. It actually encompasses various culture. You know, Celtic music is actually considered New Age also, right?
Is it?
Yeah. Then there were bands. There were also Native Americans, I think, and then also like Gregorian chant is actually also considered New Age also. You know, your Enigma.
Wouldn't that be considered world music?
No. So New Age music was a rage in around, I think, in the mid 90s. Especially when Singapore launched Channel 12. We used to have a Channel 12.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, so there's no Channel 12, there's an 8, 5. But we used to have a Channel 12, and that was the so-called the Arty Farty channel.
Channel 12.
Channel 12.
So before Channel I lah. So there was a.
That was so last time we had Channel 8, Channel 5.
Correct.
Then we had Channel 12.
SCV time, is it?
No. This is
I remember SBC.
This SBC, Singapore Broadcasting Corporation. It's not even TCS.
Not
even TCS yet. It's SBC days.
Oh shit!
So Channel 12 was a channel which had documentaries and arty-farty type of variety, musical related or whatever thing, arts and culture, you know. So it was, you had your Channel 5 for English show, Channel 8 for, Chinese show, and then you have your this. So New Age music was a rage at that time, and even SBC Radio released a CD compilation of New Age music.
Okay. So by local artists?
No. These were from the foreign. Foreign artists did not really have New Age music. New Age was something that was in the foreign one. So Secret Garden actually is considered New Age also. Secret Garden, yeah. Celtic music, certain type of Celtic music was considered New Age. So New Age is this, this spiritual awakening, being one with the world, sort of,
Or the hippie culture.
No. It's kind of like supposed to bring you onto the brainwave of society, to be one with the world and in tune with nature.
Is it something like by binaural beats now that they have where they play binaural beats? Like they say, it's going to unlock something in your brain or
something like that. But it's more of a chakra. They have a bit of spirituality in the music. Not necessarily. I'm not talking about religion. I'm talking about spirituality. Spirituality is not necessarily religion. Like the Celts are. The Celts are not. They have this spirituality with nature. Right? The Celts believe in being one with nature. And so this type of music came about. New Age and things like that. So there was this rage going on all over the world over New Age music, and so I'm prepared to try anything. I'm prepared to listen and try anything, because we only have very short time on Earth, and I don't think we have a chance to listen to everything from every corner of the world. So if you have the chance, you may like hardcore music, you may like that, but then there's nothing wrong in trying different music, trying to listen and just get some ideas of what music is like in other parts of the world or even other genres, you know.
Yeah.
And today it's so easy to do it.
Yeah.
Go YouTube, go Spotify. In those days, like, you bloody got to go to a cassette shop and buy a cassette. You're like, shit, I only like 2 songs out of the whole cassette. Too bad, suckers. You paid
Gamble
for it
lah.
already. You know, you paid $6 for it.
But
Already.
if you get a CD that has all good songs right there, you'll be very happy.
Yeah, usually you can try to get a compilation, but then sometimes you may miss out on some songs that particular artists may have, right? So then you may take a risk. I was like, you know, in those days, CD was like, when it first came, it was like $35, $40 for a CD, and it's like, shit, you can buy one and then I only like 2 songs and then the other rest. What you gonna do with the other? You can throw it away.
But I feel like, Gary, that time where CDs were very popular, right? It kind of bring about conversation of the music.
Because we also will bring CDs to
Yeah,
exchange with
and
friends.
share,
Hey, you know,
yeah.
listen to track 1 and 5 of this is good.
Yeah.
And your friends say, okay, why you try number 7 of this? It's damn good. No.
Share.
So back in schools in those days, we actually were trading cassettes and CDs also,
Yeah.
you know. And then if somebody is lucky enough to have a CD linked to a cassette player, they actually make their own mixtapes. And then they pass it around class.
Dubbing.
Yeah, okay, I take a mistake, I'm going to make my own. So each generation of the tape becomes worse as it goes on because what in your term you call it muddy. But then it's that's the only way, right? That's the only way. So, but then you get to experience different music.
It will sound like this, then after that, it will sound like this.
By the time the fourth generation copy comes, it's muddied already. It's like, can you pass it back your first generation? I'll make a copy from first. So, but that was the rage that was going on in those days, you know, and that's how we get exposed to different type of music, lah. You know,
Do you think that the scarcity of music last time, right, it brought about the love of music that we have now?
I think the fact that music wasn't that easily accessible last time because you have no internet, you don't have online resources, right? The fact that you have to spend money, even if you were to buy a blank tape, it's your own money, right? To copy somebody's tape. The fact that you do this, and the fact that you actually have to put some skin into the game, okay, as they call it, you put some skin in it. I think it make people appreciate and listen more closely to the music because, you know, like they really want to understand why did other people say that this music was good, you know, and they recommend me this. So people actually really listen to the lyrics. And I guess for musicians in those times, you know, they listen to the structure of the music and how and they hope to incorporate this into their own music, lah, you know, that they create. Today with Spotify, Bandcamp, you know, Deezer, SoundCloud, you listen to the music, the first 30 seconds you don't like it, you go and switch to the next music.
Yeah, I'm guilty of that.
Yeah, but I can't blame people. The convenience is that, like, 30 seconds, shit, I don't like the riffs of the first 30 seconds. Never mind if there's something good down the next 30 seconds, I'm just going to switch to the next one. Okay. And I think this creates, because I think it creates a mindset where people want instant gratification. I want the music to hit me in the first 5 seconds. If not, it's just the next forward button, that's all. And that actually has changed people's musical approach. They want instant gratification from when the first note drops. Most people are not willing to listen to the long term of the music to see where it goes.
Do you think it applies to daily life also, Gary? This kind of thing where something doesn't interest you in the first 5 seconds.
I mean, it's instant gratification. I think today we live in a world of instant gratification, and I think that's why people have very short attention spans. People don't appreciate things in the long run. And I can't blame them sometimes because they're too.
Like this guy.
Sorry.
One example over here.
Yeah, maybe. But I can't blame them sometimes because there are too many things vying for our attention.
Yeah, correct.
Right? Everybody wants to vie for your attention. Every element of society wants to vie for your attention. So it's a rarity. It's getting rarer now to find people that can devote attention to something, and instead of going for the width, you should go for the depth because then you get the full experience. I can't blame things as it is given the way things they are, and therefore this also becomes a challenge for musicians like yourselves because you would like to write a song, but then you also have to worry that are people going to listen past the first 30 seconds of my song, or are they going to like, oh wow, the first 30 seconds is good, I get hooked on it, I'm going to listen to the full 5 minutes of the song. So that's a challenge now. The challenge for musicians today in the scene is, are you willing to play the long game, or are you going to play that hook game where you hook people in the first 5 seconds, 10 seconds, but then, you know, That's all people remember you for.
Correct. Because
Song's just 5 seconds now.
one famous person said, right, if you cannot capture the attention of your audience in the 30 seconds, then figure out a way to do so. I was looking for that actually.
Who said that?
And then how come we got the music?
That's a reminder for me to say that statement.
I mean, you know who
But
if you know, you know
okay,
Change your pickup.
change your pickup. to add to that point, right, I feel like I'm kind of like in between. Like I'm on the fence also because we as humans, that's what we do.
Yeah.
Like last time it was like, we always try to improve.
Yeah.
And then what we are facing are the effects of it.
Well, the problem is
Music
last time you always try to improve, but last time there wasn't so much distraction for your audience, for your
Correct.
intent. So you can play the long game. But today, your audience has so many things vying for their attention. Let's even just on just one particular genre of music alone, there's so many bands coming out, and
Yeah.
So
Right.
they are fighting for your attention. So you may say, but I want to play the long game. I want it to really enjoy the song in the long run. Yeah, but the problem is that it comes to the problem, Yeah, if not many people listen to my song in its entirety, they probably won't know what I can do at the end of the song or for the next song. I mean, I think one of the perfect examples of a song that makes you listen to its entirety and the best part comes only at the end. Phil Collins, Something in the Air Tonight.
Oh yeah.
No percussion for 2/3 of the song. The drums only come in right, and that's when the song ends. And that's when the song ends.
That sounds like Ashley's.
But that's the long game. That's the long span game. He makes you listen, and if you can listen past the 2/3 mark, you get hit with this sudden drum riff that you will remember for the rest of your life.
Very iconic.
And that's when the song ends. And that's like, well, you play the long game. So, how many artists have the capability to play the long game now? That is really boils down to your creativity. So, I've spoken with, I shared my own personal opinions with some of the younger bands. I was like, in the old days, you only had, you could play a song because it was only available on tape. If we buy the tape, we are stuck with it. We had to listen to your whole album the whole way through, and we and over time we'll get to enjoy your song. We like a song. Today, you are fighting against other people that are also fighting for the same 30 seconds.
Correct.
So creativity now becomes even more important than it was in the past for the underground scene. You have to find a way to be so creative that you hook the audience from maybe the first 1/3 of the song, and then people were like, I need more. So now creativity becomes, you can market all you want, but then if people don't make it past the first 30 seconds, it doesn't work. Your marketing doesn't work. The marketing is free now. It's almost free. You can spend 0 cents on marketing now to market your band. But then if people doesn't listen past the 30 seconds, it doesn't add to anything. So the challenge now for bands is creativity. How strong is your creativity? So bands really have to think out of the box now. They really have to be creative. I'll be honest, I think throughout the history of music, from the time music was ever so-called discovered or found out till now, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not a musician, but there's only, 7 chords? 8 chords? Or 7 notes?
Open out the chakra, can have.
Yeah. Okay, maybe there is 7 notes, 8 notes, right? There's only so many possible permutations of these notes.
Yeah.
And I think we have reached almost, maybe probably 80%, 90% of whatever is permutation throughout all these years.
The chord says, but then the what was the term? Different sounds or different instruments.
Yeah, so that becomes the creativity. The chords are the notes are the same. You have the same do re mi notes, right? Everybody can play the same do re mi notes. All your instruments have that, but then the arrangement, and as you say, the different type of instruments that produce the same arrangement, but it comes out just that little bit different.
Yeah,
That boils down to creativity. Nothing but pure creativity now.
There's this saying about B.B. King. He only played 5 notes ever in his life because he played the pentatonic scale, right? Yeah. But people remember B.B. King why? Because he's creative with that 5 notes.
I'll be honest, I think every time he plays Blueberry Hill is a different version. Overall the song sounds the same, but if you listen to in between, there's always that little bit of difference. He never plays the same version of Blueberry Hill twice, because he's letting his creativity guide him. You still reach the final destination, but then the little thing in between the journeys are a bit different. A little bit of, so that's the creativity part. And I think that's a challenge. That's a challenge for many musicians for this. But if they do it well, I think the scene will reciprocate. The people reciprocate with it. You know, and I think they have a lot of resources now they can refer back to, not to copy, but to understand the structure, and then they can refer to all this, on your online thing, and then they start to tinker with their own and come up with their own things and
inspire.
and then the whole explosion of the underground scene. This is what it's all about. So every generation will have the evolution. Every generation, some big, some small, but there will always be some change, and that's the fun part about the underground scene. It's not stagnant. As I said, it's like a forest. It just the forest changes shape all the time. It may trim down, it may grow bigger, but it always changes its shape. It never stays still.
What if it burns down, Gary?
Choi.
No. Gary got a good comeback for that.
I mean, people will say, but what if the whole forest gets burns down? Well, then, just like nature, when lava burns over any area, the subsequent plants that grow on the lava becomes stronger because it's more fertilized. So you try and burn any scene down, it will actually just come back stronger than before.
So if you burn a scene down, it's like, actually this one for your future.
It's for your own good. But it's hard to burn a scene down, let's be honest. It's very hard to burn a scene down, right, in today's context. And I guess the people that take photos and record gigs, I think these are what provides the record and the archive for, in case in case the scene burns down, hey, you have something to refer to and use that to build back up the scene again.
Correct.
Okay.
Your NAS.
It's a very organic cloud system.
For people don't know, it's a data cloud system, right? Data storage.
He keeps just
Gary started his own
nothing
NAS.
else but gig photos, right? Gig photos and videos, and nothing else.
And you went to YouTube everything yourself, how to set up a NAS. Respect to that.
No, I mean, I've been building my own computers I've been building my own system since IBM XTs first became available, when you have Sydney Square Furnace Center early days. So I've been building. So I think building my own NAS was it's just a logical thing, right? Because I could have built it last time, but there was no need. Now there's a need, so why not? It doesn't take much to build a NAS. Carousel is very friendly, so so I can buy all the second-hand parts to build something. And it's for the benefit of everybody. I just want people to just benefit from it, and that's all. I'm not asking people to pay a monthly fee to maintain the NAS or to keep the NAS. My NAS is running on a 1 gigabyte dedicated internet line. I have 2 internet lines in my house, so there's 1 gigabyte dedicated to NAS and nothing else.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
So I have a 2 gigabyte plan and a 1 gigabyte plan in my house from 2 different internet service providers.
Holy shit.
That's how much she loves the scene, guys.
And actually, I'm looking at maybe switching to a 10
gig.
gigabyte,
Wow.
10 gig plan, which is much cheaper now. I think it's about $169 a month now. It used to be $200-$300 a month.
I think get your CPF money, buy server room.
Yeah, so another 3 years and maybe I might quit the scene and I'll run my own NAS.
Sorry, my one is 10 gigabits, right? 50 something, 60.
No. There's no 10 gigabits. 10 gigabits are minimum $160 right now.
No, my public $60. I sumpah to you.
No, your internet plan is a 10 gigabit. No lah.
It is.
And then you set up your own
Which
NAS,
service provider is that?
My public.
10 gigabit and 10 gigabyte different.
I can talk to you more about it later. It's 10 gigabit, yeah.
Gigabit and gigabyte.
Gigabit and gigabyte is different, no?
That time you told me it's gigabit, what? No, man.
Gigabit.
So is it gigabit or gigabyte? I don't know.
Actually, it's 10 gigabit. GBPS.
Okay, so then yours is gigabyte.
No,
Different.
so mine is a 2 gig plan, what you call a 2 Gbps plan,
Yeah.
and I have 2 internet service providers in my house because your ONT can have 2 services.
Yeah.
So one is on a 2 gigabyte and one is on a 1 gigabyte.
Okay.
So my NAS is on a 1 gigabyte dedicated. That means this 1 gigabyte line that I pull into a second router, it only serves the NAS and nothing else on
Okay.
it.
No, mine is 10. I pay 60 plus only.
Maybe
Not 100.
throttled. Maybe it's throttled.
I don't think so. We talk more about it later.
Yeah, we'll talk about the legal stuff on it later.
Okay. So since we talk about the good stuff about the scene, right? Let's talk about some of the what?
I think.
Yeah,
Oi.
90 minutes.
I scared.
Scared of what? No, I was gonna ask what are the pet peeves that you have of the scene?
Oh, I
Pet
got-
peeves.
I got a good way to question it.
Okay. You can go ahead.
In a way, just to like pull the extremes.
Politically correct, yeah.
Yeah. The best gig you've been to and the worst gig you've been to.
Oh, Wow, that's
The worst gig is by Boden.
Okay, the second worst.
I think there's no such thing as a worst gig
But
in that sense.
Because there's so many.
No. Okay, that's a good comeback. No, but it's a matter of relativity. When you say worst, in what sense? Are you talking about the setup?
Your personal one.
The setup, the venue,
Everything. All factors into one. What's the worst?
Personal lah. Subjective lah. So no one
Yeah,
can say you're wrong. Yeah.
It's
But
just
you can only. I think you can only say about certain parts of that gig. But there's no such thing as a whole gig that's so bad until like, it's like, what the hell am I wasting my time here with this gig? I have not experienced that. Thankfully,
Good thing. Yeah.
but yeah, you look at it, okay, maybe the organization could be better, maybe the sound system could be better, maybe the sound engineering guy could have done a bit better things.
okay.
Sorry, Gary.
Don't put bass boost and everything. Or maybe the band, maybe certain. It's not all the bands that are bad. It's like maybe this band could have been a bit more serious in their music.
Okay.
In what they're playing.
Okay, we take the music factor out. How about that? How about the people factor?
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So
Audience or the bands? Or everyone?
everything. So
Or the
vibe of
staff or
like
the-
don't care whether music was good or bad, but how was like maybe a few examples like the not camaraderie, maybe like how they all reactive with each other, that kind of thing. If you get what I mean. Don't take the music factor out. It's the human.
But then the problem
factor.
is you always get two sides of the coin of humans at every
Understand,
gig.
yeah,
right?
yeah,
You have people that will enjoy the gig no matter what.
Yeah.
And you have people that will like criticize the gig no matter what.
Yeah.
I think the trick is, do the people that enjoy end up being more than the people that criticize, or the people that criticize end up being more than the people who enjoy? Because
That's a good one.
there's
That's a
no,
good one.
I'm afraid there's no hard answer like,
Yeah.
this gig sucks, sucks balls, something like that.
Yeah.
But then, in what sense? Wow, the ticket price was expensive, but then there was like only 2 bands. But you can't blame the band. The bands are doing what they like to do or what they want to do, right? You can only blame perhaps the organizer.
Yeah.
But then again, you can't. But then that's on the organizer's part. But then if you say, does the gig suck? Well, only on that part. But the rest of the gig, the sound, the music, I think was on par. So that's why it's. I think maybe that's one good thing about gigs. There are so many elements that happen in the gig that you can't just
pinpoint one specific
I say,
factor.
this you can't know. I mean, I'm sure you'll be probably a day that you can buy 4D if every element in that gig sucks totally. That is probably all the stars are aligned in the wrong position on that day, and the sound engineer sucks, the band sucks, the crowd sucks, the venue sucks, the things. I mean, that would be like a perfect storm. But thankfully, I have not experienced the perfect storm. But it's also the same
For the good
side. Same story on the good side.
No.
Are there such things as best gigs? Yeah, but the definition of best, like, it could be that particular one band in that gig brings up the whole thing, or it's like, shit, the organization of the gig was so well done that everybody could like really enjoy it without having to worry anything. The bands were all on point and things like that. So I won't say that. It's usually a trick question. You say, which is the best gig or worst gig? I would say that any gig that you walk away from or that you go home from and you still feel the buzz of the gig even while you're taking a late night shower, then I think that's a good gig.
What's your opinion on Bay Beach?
Wow.
Straight up.
But that's not underground.
Oh. But
That doesn't apply to our...
It has underground bands playing in.
And from your underground point of view,
Yeah.
so you upskirt a bit, you see how it's like.
I mean, okay, look, maybe it's, at the end of the day, it's a commercial festival, right? The whole objective is to project Singapore music, but then the challenge is, what is the definition of Singapore music? But of course, they want to bring Singapore music acts together with foreign acts, Yeah, fair enough. You have a free festival for all, and of course, not forgetting that Esplanade is a charity organization. It's not a private limited company. It's a charity organization. So obviously, these are things.
Wait, what do you mean by charity organization?
It's registered as a charity.
Means non-profit. kind of
Yes,
thing,
non-profit entity. Yes, correct. So obviously, having a 3-day free festival, it will draw the masses because people always like things which are free generally. and you bring in Singapore music acts, you bring in things. Yeah, as a commercial event, or as a non-profit commercial event, to put it in a nicer way, yeah, it works. I guess for the last 20 over years. But if you were to look at, if you want my honest opinion, look at it, you're asking how I look at it from the underground viewpoint. The benefits that it will bring to underground scene, I think that is pretty much up for debate. What does it? It may benefit the mainstream scene, yes, right? You get exposure to get even bigger exposure, but to the underground scene, what is the exposure? I think that's still very, very, very debatable.
Who were the forerunners of this initiative for Babies before they joined Esplanade?
So, sure. I think I got to go back and dig up the info. Yeah, but I think there were three. I think there were 3 or 2 of them. I think it was 3 of them. Right.
Bands or individuals?
No, individuals.
Okay.
But they were in the scene also.
Okay.
But don't get mistaken. They did not join Esplanade per se. It's kind of like, okay, we can organize it, but here comes somebody that says, look, I got infrastructure, I have everything.
Okay.
Why not I do it for you?
So the opportunity was there somehow.
Yeah, so like, why not I do it for you, but it comes under me, and I'll build my own team to do it with your input, of course, right? So I'm sure they were probably joining the. They don't work for us, but I'm probably sure they joined for a few editions, But then eventually, of course, Esplanade takes it wholesale, right? Okay, then eventually, so that's why the word Babies became associated with Esplanade, and the thing, But then, that being said, once you associate anything with a proper infrastructure, it becomes a structured game, and that's where all these things about auditions and things like that, curating and things that come into the picture, it becomes a structured game. And when anything comes in a structured game, the underground side would more or less be on not really the advantageous side, because you're talking about a structured game.
Yeah.
Right? And that's where the odds may be stacked. And I think this year's controversy, everything was like, it's not only this year. I think it's a combination of things that happened over the years, But not forgetting that today's social media presence is there, and anything good or bad on the social media spreads faster than
Yeah.
Even if you clamp down on Instagram, there's Reddit. Even if you clamp down on Reddit, there's Discord. Even if you clamp down on Discord, there's Telegram. Right? So you can't stop it. You can hope to mitigate it, but that's a PR thing. Right? So I think perhaps it's nothing to do with. I mean, the babies will still carry on. Let's be honest, right? Regardless of what the thing does in the underground scene, they will still carry on. Okay, it's just whether maybe the underground scene will have to look at really what is it in it for the underground scene, right? Is there a lack of a better word? Is there an ROI? Is there something that will benefit the underground scene in the long run, right? There's also jokingly, but I think there's some historical record. Right? There's this thing about the curse of Baybeats, where you have bands that played at Baybeats, and then after Baybeats, they call it quits.
Yeah.
Because these bands feel that we've hit the target, but actually no, you have not even hit the target. You only started your target only.
Correct. The worst is people who form bands just for Baybeats.
Yeah,
that's the worst. Yeah.
So it is, like they say, if not for fame and fortune, then for what? Maybe that's the mindset, So you can have your fame and fortune. Maybe you might not have the longevity, There's always three things, and you have to sacrifice one to obtain the other two. So maybe you have your fame and fortune, but no longevity.
Can I ask something? Like, if let's say, for example, a band plays Baybeats before, right? Will they somehow get preferential treatment from the underground scene, or no?
Good or bad,
Yeah.
So you're saying that if a band plays in Baybeats, and then when they want to play in the underground scene, they get
will they be first pick, that kind of thing, or not?
So you mean before playing the underground scene, they weren't in any other gigs before?
No, it's I think what I say is like, if let's say a band plays in Bay Beats now, and then after Bay Beats is over, they say, okay, we want to play in underground scene. Would organizers look at them as like, okay, this will be the first pick because they played in Bay Beats before? I guess that will very, very much depends right down to the organizer. So that brings up the question of an organic underground scene or an artificial underground scene. Right? An organic underground scene looks at, if an organizer is really serious about growing the underground scene, I think whether you play a Bay Beats or not is beside the point. They look at it from all aspects as an organic growth of the scene. So, when they organize a gig, the bands that take part in this gig, would this help the scene to grow? Would this inspire more people to take up music in the underground scene, whether for passion, whether for things like that? Would the bands themselves, actually, would the acts themselves also want to contribute back to the scene, Again, the scene we are not talking about structured things, we're talking about just, this is an ecosystem. So, but then if you have organizers that, look, I only want the trendiest and, the trending topics now that's happening, I want this, okay, yeah, but you have that. Then you just, maybe like just like the ex, the situation, it could be a populist, right? Populist move, right? Yeah. So again, I think one thing about it is that there's no right or wrong. It really depends on your own personal opinion. And I know everybody has their own personal opinion, right? Of whether. So I'm not saying that every band has a right to reach for what they want. But then, sometimes I hope that bands also sit down, reflect, and take a look at, can you help contribute back to the scene in some ways? We're not talking about monetary, okay? May not be monetary. We're talking about how can you help young newcomers, with the experiences that you learn playing at Bay Beats or playing at any big festival. I'm sure there are some things that you can share back with the other bands in the underground scene who may not have a chance to play Bay Beats.
Can you provide some examples of how bands can help out other bands, like more experienced bands help out the younger bands?
Things like, even simple things like how the structured setup of the band set, right, at Bay Beats. This will provide, letting the bands know, when we set up, there was this thing that they had to do, and go through the proper checks and things like that.
Yeah.
This provides a mental picture to bands who have never played in Bay Beats to at least understand what it's like to play. It's not like, much as like say, can I just go there, plug and play? Yeah, but no, really, there's actually a whole process of things. You can't plug and play on a big stage like that, right? That you need to do your line checks, you do the thing, and then it's structured, and there's a time limit. You can't be like, can I have another 2 hours to do line check? Well, no, you can get off the stage if you want to take 2 hours to do line check. We need to do everything done within 20 minutes. And that's a structured process. Start with the kick drum, start with the snare. So we sometimes see this also happening in this is also done in the underground gigs, right? But then it's not so much like, we can give and take. But in a structured environment, and this provides a kind of a mental preparation for bands that hope to reach and play in bigger events. It provides a mental preparation for you to, maybe when it comes to line checking, maybe you should be more serious about it. Everybody try to come on time, and just get the line check done, get the sound check done, get the levels done properly. Then we can go and rest. And then when the time comes, we go on stage, we plug and play. Any things that are not set up, we quickly set it up. Do it fast, and then get on with the gig, and let that out. Because whether you can finish all your songs list or not is beside the point. The time is there already. I don't care whether you got how many songs left on list. When you time to go, the stage manager gives a signal, you have to go. Sure. So it's very simple. So again, these are things which maybe sometimes in underground gigs, we organic underground, we don't really have that level of you're so rigid, But so things like this, simple things like this, will provide a lot of help to bands. Not necessarily about playing in Bay Beats, but playing in bigger events, right? Yeah. So things like this are help. It will help. It will help a lot. Which I hope I really hope. I mean, I know sometimes I know the band members, but it doesn't mean I know what the band is doing off stage. So, but I hope that these things do happen, and that there's this sharing and helping the scene people to be prepared, for these sort of things. Should the time comes,
Yeah, like sharing the wealth of knowledge, like stuff like example, to add on to your example, like maybe if a band, right, experienced band going on tour can share tour experience or maybe
correct.
recommend the organizer of the other country.
Yeah, put them, build a network with the...
Yes, correct. And then bring other bands also.
Bring a network
bands.
back to Singapore,
Correct.
help the bands here to build a network with your
Yes, correct.
established contacts already in the other
Correct.
country. Yeah, but some may say that, but that means I may lose that. No, you're not losing your contact.
There's nothing about losing.
I mean, if you are in it for the scene, if you're in it for the love of the scene, why are you worried about this?
It's win-win for everyone. There's no lose.
Yeah,
No one
the
loses
scene
out.
grows together.
Correct.
But if you want to grow by yourself, hey, we can't stop you. But the best situation is always the scene grows together, right? The forest grows together. So if you want to be the lone tree or the lone sapling or lone whatever, yeah, go ahead. I mean, nobody's stopping you. But then always remember that there's what goes around comes around.
Yeah.
You can't blame it. And you can't blame anybody because it is your own decisions that make whatever happens in the future. So, just be understanding of that. And then if you want to play along, then play along with the game. That's the thing. We just roll along with it. But then, I always believe that most bands in the scene are in it for the good of the scene, and that's what I always believe in. Sure, you may have some, but that majority, that's why, as I said, I don't want to focus on, this minority. If the majority are fine, if 99% are fine, it's only the 1%, then screw the 1%, let's concentrate on 99%. Don't even waste time on that. Even if it's 10% is not fine, 90%, I'd rather concentrate on the 90%. They're worth helping.
Correct.
They're worth for us to support. We can do without 10%. The 10% dies or doesn't die, it doesn't concern us. The scene will still go on.
Definitely.
And I think perhaps this is the attitude, because nothing is perfect in life. So we just got to help the majority. The majority needs help, we help the majority. And I think this is what the scene has to do.
And also, when you need help, let us know, okay? Don't climb the ladder yourself.
So Gary, right? When he mounts like GoPros or cameras in high places, he takes a random ladder from somewhere. Or usually the venue has a random
venue itself has a ladder.
and then he climbs on his
Random ladder
own
from somewhere.
without asking for help.
Come out ladder.
So people like us, right? We seem like fuck. We hope this old man doesn't fall down. So what we do, right? Especially
Younger
me,
people like us.
I use my own body weight to hold the ladder in place at the lower steps. Yeah. Regardless of whether he needs help or not, I'll just do it.
I'm a one-man set up and one-man tear down, if possible. Because
We are
I mean,
a
everybody's busy with their own things also. So,
We are forest member.
Yeah, we are forest.
So don't be the lone pokok. So Gary's
I'm
looking
trying
for
to climb
interns.
I'm trying to climb the tree without falling.
Thankfully, so far.
So far it's okay.
That time you got fall down, what?
No, I did not fall down.
I was jamming, I remember.
The red colour stool, right?
Unstable foundation.
He was
Clamping
here.
on
I blame it on the chair that was given by Treble Cube.
Oh, you mean Hanesh?
So it was not given, it was taken by it was already faulty. And the red colour
See,
stool,
it was
right?
already 40, he still kept it there.
Audit abang saya some fails.
It's for the mosh pits.
It's too late.
Then bring the memos.
Does anyone have any other questions?
Wait, how about Gary? Do you have any questions for us?
Us, yeah.
For,
One more question
for
lah.
Boden, for Circle Line Kid.
Actually.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's not. Maybe we don't expand so much because. Yeah. What is your number one pet peeve at a gig?
One sentence.
Okay, one sentence, one explanation. Elaborate a bit only.
Did you
Number
ask the
one
question?
pet peeve.
I tried to do lah, but then he reframed my
You're
question.
talking about pet peeve at the gig or pet peeve in the scene in general?
And the scene in general. Whatever. In the scene in general. Thank you for reframing the question.
Because if you say pet peeve at the gig, it's like,
Don't stand in front of me
can you
when I'm shooting.
can the band's organizers buy me a bottle of Coke at the very gate? That's a pet peeve. No. That's a few pet peeves.
Okay.
But thankfully, thankfully they are more good than bad. But then if you insist on getting an answer out of me,
He's sharp asking me this question.
Problem, this guy.
problem lah. Okay lah. This may be a politically incorrect answer.
It's okay.
Or maybe an unpopular answer.
There we go. The podcast is
But
starting.
then again, I didn't get to do what I do to care what you think about it. Okay, I don't really give a shit about what you think about it. As long as the majority are happy, the majority of the scene happy, as long as I'm happy, I'll just do it. I don't do it for your validation or your. I don't do things for validation. That's the way I live to 52 years old right now. I don't need your validation. Even in my job, last time I'm working 30 years in the printing industry, I don't need validation. My skill speaks for itself. You take it or you leave it. You don't like it, I go to somewhere else, I can still make a living.
So what is it? What is it?
Okay, but this family is very simple. Please stop saying support local if you are not supporting local. That's all I have to say. Because it gets very tiring. You know, it's like this fire alarm that stays in the background. There's no fire, but this fire alarm keeps on ringing. Yeah.
Lucky here don't have.
Yeah. You only got an aircon that's going to drop.
You
only got an aircon that's dropping. No, but I really will hope that people that say support local, please, if you want to use that word, use that two words, please really follow up with it. Support local, a lot of people have the mistaken impression that support local means it's financially. I would say that I need to stress it is not only financially. You can always support the local underground scene in other ways other than financially. If you have skill sets, if you have experiences, if you have knowledge that you think you can help in the scene, okay, please come forward. The scene is always appreciated. The scene may not be able to pay you. Okay, not everyone in the scene can pay you. But the scene will definitely be appreciative of
Wait
it.
for him to reach 55 first.
No, that one, no. The money's for myself, I don't care really. I'm going to buy a new camera. But, support local is about supporting locally, both financially, but also in terms of resources, in terms of experience or knowledge. Please contribute to the scene if you really believe in the scene. I think that's the part that every underground scene around the world wants. They want more people to contribute. Talk to organizers, talk to bands. If you think you can help out at the gig, talk to an organizer. Hey, I can come up. I can help you guys set up things, tear down things. I can help you all do some security. I can help you ensure that the seat. People are always appreciative of all this. Right? They may not be able to pay you a salary, but people will appreciate it because you are trying to do your part. You want to enjoy the gig, but you also want to do a part to help make sure the gig is enjoyable for others. So I will hope that people who say support local, please, follow through with those two words because it's very important for the scene. And I think it will benefit everybody in the scene as a whole. That's probably the pet peeve that the word support local is thrown around probably very easily by people. So I hope that people will take it more seriously when they use the word support local. Yeah.
Thank you, Gary.
Thank you, Gary.
Was a nice
That's a pet peeve. That's a pet
Nice,
peeve.
pet peeve.
Support local.
What's your second pet?
Okay, we need another 4 hours here.
But back to Zan, his question. Do you have any questions for us?
I'm not a musician, so I can't ask any music related
Then
questions.
don't ask.
Yeah, but there's nothing else. I can't ask you all for the secrets to a long lasting marriage.
Only Shak
know.
can.
No, but I can't also because I'm 25 years. I don't think anybody. So I can't ask for
you got
secrets of
more
long lasting
I know.
marriage.
Secret is go for gigs every week.
Get away, get out of house every weekend.
Give each other space.
So that you only see 5 days a week instead of 7 days a week.
Then don't say support local.
No, that one not support local. Right? I actually, to be honest, I don't really have. I mean, whatever questions I have is probably more of like, what is mastering? How does a pickup works on the guitar? I mean, this is probably just curiosity question, but.
But the answer today is
Yeah,
very
you
simple.
answer
Gary.
already, what?
It's like
just change the damn pickup.
No, but we were saying actually music production, right, and photography, it's very very similar.
Correct. I mean, I appreciate Zan Sanai explaining a lot of the technical things about things like mastering, mixing, right? But then he can relate it back to my photography, and straight away I find mastering is actually just like color adjustments on things. You can have different colors, but the picture still remains the same. But the different color adjustment will give you a different outfit, and that's what mastering makes a feel of that song is like. Different people will master differently, right? the same song can be mastered differently by 10 different people.
Yeah. Talk until 5 a.m. until
Talk until 5 a.m. at supper. Every time we have supper, it's like, hey, let's go on supper. You start at,
Roti John combo.
You start at 10 p.m. and you finish at 5 a.m. the next day. But
Sembawang block what? Sembawang block
405. The coffee shop at 405.
If you want to lepak with us, please message Gary.
But I just hope that everybody enjoys the scene for what it is, and we look forward to more good things. I know, shout out to Lion City Hardcore that celebrated 30 years of Lion City 93 last Saturday.
At time of recording, this was actually 2 days after that
2 days
gig.
after LCHC gig at Somerset Youth Park. God knows that we haven't had a live gig there at that particular stage for almost slightly more than 15 years. But it's not only Lion City Hardcore. There are the other genres, the skins, the punks, the crust punks, the metal, the indie guys, and recently I think the last 1 or 2 years, the rap and the hip hop guys coming back to our scene. These are very much part of the Lion City underground scene, and I just hope and wish everybody will have a good time, support it, have fun in it, and just carry on writing out the story of our underground scene for years to come.
Is there anyone else you'd like to shout out? Any individuals, any bands? This is a good blind time to do it, man.
Boplay Photos, Play Productions.
Hey, no, that was my own. No, but
Just now you shout out Belly Star. You just shout out.
These are band.
Anyone else? Individuals, bands.
If we shout out, right, it's going to be like
it's going to be another 5 hours here.
Okay, I give you 5 to shout out. Limit to 5. 5 to 10.
Not 5 pet peeve, shout out.
Okay,
or you can say as many as you want. It's fine.
I tell you what, I think bands are important, but I also want to take my hat off to organizers that really put in their time, their effort, and I think the most critical part that everybody overlooks, the money. We hope that they make a profit, but profit or not, they will still carry on to do all these things, right? So I want to give a shout out to organizers, because I think I will rephrase it, the organic organizers, the organizers that really believe in the scene, that really want to do good for the scene. Sure, people may say money is important, but then they while they put that into the calculation, they don't put that as a priority. They just want the scene to grow. They want to expose our scene to other acts and other things like that, which I think we're all very appreciative of it. Unless you talk to organizer, you will not know the type of crap that they go through at the end. Okay, so I think the organizers, the organic organizers in our scene are the ones that we really appreciate. The bands, of course, I gave an example of bands, but then there are many other bands that are doing so much for the scene with their creativity, making us all happy and singing along, shouting along at their gigs. I think that's hats off to them, young and old, and of course
studio owners,
the venue owners. We have so many venue owners, right, over the years, but currently, right, we have venue owners like Fields. We used to have venue owners like Treble Cube. Right, with the amount of gigs we have,
the best sound in Singapore.
The best aircon.
Singapore's first automated jamming studio.
But then we have so many. We have so many venues that have come and gone. We have of course the CBGB of Singapore underground scene decline. Right, the CBGB of our scene. We have Live M, we have Analog Scape,
we have Noise.
We have Big Noise, we have Play by Ear, right? We had so many wonderful experiences, and I think it's a shame that they couldn't carry on enjoying and the scene with us. But the people are still around, right? And I do see them at gigs here and there. So I hope they enjoy the scene for what it is, and they know that they have played a part in our scene. Now, of course, the most important things are the people in the scene that go to gig and support the bands, big or small, whether is it for 10 people, 20 people, 100 people, 50 people, it doesn't matter. They'll go, the support, and I think that's important for bands, right? So overall, shout out to our Lion City underground scene. We are strong, we are pretty united, and let's see what we can do in the next 30 years. I may not be around there by that time, but
Oh no.
Yeah.
82
But unless
is
somebody
etiquette,
invent a longevity pill for me to take, but then, you know. I was jokingly telling Blacklisted that, you know, you guys probably can celebrate 40 years Lion City Hardcore in another 10 years' time. At which time I'm 62, so I probably won't be shooting. I'll probably just take a chair seat there and drink my Coke and enjoy the gig. You know?
I think everyone will carry you.
Yeah, go find somebody else. Okay, you guys can do it. I'll just go there without any camera. I'm just gonna sit there and enjoy the gig as well.
You see, I confirm. Later,
Yeah.
10 years later,
Still on camera, still going there and say, can I help me climb the ladder to set up the GoPro? Yeah, why did you just get out of the stage?
You say you don't want to shoot anymore, right, Gary? Zeno, Gary talking about you.
So in 10 years, right, Zeno will be like what, mid-30s, still shooting.
Yeah.
Imagine. And
He'll
then
be our age.
Sean will be like what, 40s already.
Yeah, 40, yeah. So
About
the
that,
current
2 more years.
generation of the
Wow.
older hardcore kids are, you know, okay, with the exception of the guys from Overthrow, Recover, all this, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, most of them will be in their 40s in another 10 years time.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Donald.
So like, you know, congratulations on 40 years old, but you can celebrate the 40th anniversary. I'm just going to go there and enjoy.
Do you think there'll be someone like you to take over?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Zeno,
I mean,
he's talking about you.
Definitely.
look, there's more
Must
than
drink Coke,
there's more than Zeno, right? I mean, there's so many of them, right? I mean, there's Shukri and all this. And that. I mean, look, I mean, look,
Very nice guy.
they have the benefit of being musicians themselves, which is important, which gives them a perspective that I will never get because I'm not a musician. But they've been a musician itself, they are able to understand how the media can help the musician. So they have that very unique perspective, which I will never have. So hats off to them if they can do even more for the scene, you know, to shoot.
But you are
cover.
definitely a legend to them.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I'm not a legend. I'm just a guy that's trying to do my
Oh, I see.
best and trying to
James,
have
the
fun.
humble guy.
And most importantly, trying to have fun at the same time. I think that's the most important.
That's what
Trying to have fun.
legends
That's
say.
right.
Gary.
Hey, at the end of the day, Singapore has one Boplay.
You know what?
Together we'll be one Boplay.
One Boplay only. Singapore
I want to have. I rather have 2 bowl plays. If you insist on having one, I got nothing else to say.
Gary, Boplay t-shirt, man, bro. Boplay t-shirt.
No, that one. I see whether my CPF money enough not to print a
Okay, in the
Boplay
next
t-shirt.
3 years, the Boplay shirts will be coming out. Pending CPF.
Pending CPF, pending CPF and the minimum sum withdrawal.
Yeah, we'll be the first to buy.
Hopefully.
Gary, is there a place
Pre-order.
for anyone, the viewers, to see all your
So
history,
So
your photos and all that?
much
Your
as
Linktree also.
so
Linktree,
much as I like to
Your nest.
no much as I like to showcase my photos and the problem is the amount of gigs I'm shooting every week doesn't now leave me much time already. This year 2023 has been a record year. I mean when I think
Before you say, Gary, we guess how many gigs you shot.
This year?
Yeah, shot.
Oh, you know the number, is it?
Wow.
I don't know.
Do you know the number of how many gigs you shot this year?
Yeah.
No, wait, don't say that.
Okay, let's say, we all guess
okay,
also.
okay,
Okay, let me
you
guess.
can guess how many gigs. I say it's a record year, but the problem is you do not know how many gigs I shot before COVID also.
Okay, let me try. So 365 days a year.
This year alone.
This year alone.
Big
We
like
talk
at least
about
like
23
5
alone.
weeks.
Are you
Just for
shooting
the hell
more
of it.
this year?
Yeah, no, this year is a record year. It surpasses
53 weeks.
Oh, but there's more,
Twice a
there's
day,
more to come.
100.
but I mean, there's
I
only
got
a few more weeks left
Yeah.
to end. Well, there's only 2 more weeks left to end. So there's another, I guess, another 2
One
My
week. Okay.
guess is 128.
No lah. That's a binary number.
Binary number.
2 to the power of it.
64.
I was going 64
yeah,
also.
69.
I'll say
64
70.
is more like 64 is more like before pandemic.
Now it's more.
50.
50 cannot be lah.
No,
100.
64.
Now got more gigs, right? This year got
64 is the number that's before pandemic.
Also should be more.
Now 512.
150.
88.
No.
88.
I wish I can hit the century mark. Unfortunately, I can't hit the century mark.
Okay, so
Okay, next
Because-
next year goal lah.
Because I think I had a 1 week COVID thing. I think towards the middle of the year, something like that. So unfortunately, I couldn't hit the 100 mark. But
99.
no, it's almost.
Oh, close.
If I off the top of my head, without counting the next few gigs for the remaining of the year, I think if I'm not mistaken, it should be around 92 or
92.
Too close.
I guess it.
Because I
Yeah.
know you wanted 92.
So it's about 92 or 93, I think, this year that I shot. But we're talking about gigs. That means there's photography and GoPro video recording of full sets of the band. So I think it's about 93. And that includes not only Singapore, it includes also Rocking Jams. Well, when you say overseas, basically it's Rocking Jams.
Jams, okay.
And
You're going there soon, right? For your last.
No, I'll only be going back there. I think probably only in February or March. Yeah, February or March. The last one was last.
Oh yeah, I saw your post. The last time you'll be
the
there.
previous week I was there. Yeah, I was there for So I that includes also shooting at Rocking Jams this year. So I think it's about 92 or 93. Thereabouts number. But I mean, before that, I used to only shoot about 64, 65, 70. But last year during 2022 was interesting because we were halfway through the so-called. We only opened up like in March or April.
Thereabouts,
Yeah, but
much.
from then till December 2022 was 50 gig.
Yes, yeah.
Just that. Just at 8 months, 9 months, it was 50 gigs already. Because the gigs started, everybody started like
Going crazy.
no, everybody was going crazy. Yeah, we need gigs. And this year has gone even crazier because it could have been more. If there were more copies of me shooting, there would be more because there were like 3 gigs in a day, 4 gigs in a day. I think the last few weeks there were like 2 or 3 gigs happening every Saturday or Sunday, and it was ridiculous. If there were more, there but it's good because the gigs are of different genres, which is good. So people can have a choice of different genres. The bad is for me. The bad is that I can't shoot them all. I hope to shoot them all, but I can't. So, but then it's a good sign. The scene is alive and everybody's having fun. And hopefully next year may even have more gigs. Right? Next year, and then hopefully gigs will get more and more year after year. As more people come into the scene. Hopefully. That is a big hope.
Last year, Hanish cannot sleep during the weekends.
Yeah, last year.
Hey, Ken. Got a whiskey again.
I think last year you can only start sleeping after October. October 16 is when you can start every weekends you can have sleep on the weekend. Before October 16, there was no way you could
Sunday
ever sleep.
only Sunday night.
There was no way you could have sleep on a Friday night or a Saturday night.
No, even cannot. It's Monday morning, right? Then the management will come and talk to me. And complain.
We need to have
after action review.
You need to pass your audits all.
We need to talk about the toilet
and the lift.
After the gig finished, then they repair the lift.
Yeah, sorry.
Now the lift got sensor.
Now the lift got sensor. For you guys who came Treble Cube last time, remember holding the
door, or closing the door manually.
If you need more reasons to come to Treble Cube, right, the lift got sensor.
Staircase still closed though.
But the toilet now has a cupboard outside the toilet with toiletries.
That one actually not for them to touch.
Okay.
I haven't put the door yet.
I saw toilet paper. I saw hand wash lotion and things like that. Okay. Also, you need to put a door in it. Okay, that explains it.
Just get your head sometime.
Tomorrow come all gone.
You can just cover it with a sarong. Nobody will know.
Sarong. Yeah.
Anything to wrap up, guys?
I'd like to end with a quote if you allow me to.
Don't support local.
Bro, indulge you in that quote.
A sapling emerges from a single seed planted in the ground. As it grows, it lengthens its roots and begins to reach for the sky, and its thickening trunk gives it strength and rigidity. Over time, other saplings also grow from scattered seeds, and together they emerge as trees. Collectively, these trees will eventually become a forest and a natural organic shelter full of life. This is how underground scenes are grown. Wow. They are organic and not something which pops up just because you throw some money at it. The Lion hardcore scene started more than 30 years ago, but its spirit truly found its calling in 1993 as the forest started to take shape. But like any forest, the scene also has its shares of threats and undesirables.
The code,
plus a lot of stuff. I'll skip to the end. What the fuck? Very long. No,
because he doesn't want to stay here for another 2 hours. You don't want to break down that 2 hours.
No, because they can read themselves. Like the point form, I feel like they need to read themselves. It doesn't feel epic if I read out. The scene will continue to grow stronger, much like how the forest thrives despite its parasites and fungi. As new blood enters the scene, they bring new ideas and energy to ensure sustainability and longevity of the scene. Occasionally, they need help to identify and remove the threats to the scene, but they power on like an unstoppable train. 30 years is a lifetime to some in the scene, as they have poured their blood, sweat and tears to go against the ignorance of society. But they lay the groundwork for those who come after them to pick up and continue the good fight. So, as the story of LCHC's next 30 years begins to be written, we look forward to what the next chapter brings to the scene. Congratulations to the LC93 spirit and long may it reign. #LOL, Live City Hardcore LC93.
Yeah.
So Jan,
Chapter
I want to
two.
talk about the Malay one. The pokok is as strong as the hutan.
Why is jungle in Malay?
Hutan.
Hutan.
A pokok is as
Orang
strong
hutan.
as the hutan or something like that.
Kayu.
Kayu. You can be kayu, but if we kayu together, we can be the hutan that the Singapore. Okay, right? We can kayu
We
together.
all can kayu, but we kayu together.
Kekuatan pokok adalah sebagai kekuatan
Dan
hutannya.
Kayu ke tak kayu? Kita sama hutan.
Anyhow, that one, but sounds correct.
Chat GPT Malay version Chat GPT.
Tak ada.
Tak ada lah. Okay.
You ask question, play. Malay.
Chat GPT reply you, saya tak faham lah.
Kau bulu asal.
Balik sekolah. Balik sekolah.
But that was a good closure.
Thank you, Shak. Thank you, Gary.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Gary. Boplay.
On behalf of everyone in the scene, I'd like to thank you for taking all the shots.
Everybody is welcome to it. No problem. No problem.
Yeah.
It's my pleasure.
Don't let any harm happen to Gary.
Hopefully
You
the
see
ceilings
climbing
are
the ladder.
short
It's
enough.
not protect the cheerleader and save the
Got
world.
leather insurance.
I don't know.
If you see
To ask
Gary
FW.
climbing the ladder, please help him. Just in case. If you see Gary climbing heavy
Before
stuff,
you hold the
right?
ladder, let me know so that
Yeah.
you don't. There's a sudden
Yeah.
joke.
Don't
and then-
support local if you don't support Gary on the ladder.
If
The
you
whole
see
crowd support you.
You don't crowd sia.
Gary, stage dive.
If you see Gary, say hi. If you see him carrying heavy stuff, say hi and help him out. So before you do
it's
anything,
okay,
say
it's
hi first
Okay. It's okay.
and ask if he needs help. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Gary.
And don't stand in front of him when he's taking his shot, okay? Bye.
This has been Hot Sauce Season 2 Episode 1 with Gary Boplay Photos. You can check him out on Instagram, which is BOPLAPHOTOS.
Boplay.
Boplay. BOPLAY.
Did I say Y?
Yeah, you
Oh shit,
say
sorry, I
Y.
forgot. Sorry. BOPLAY. I forgot the Y. PHOTOS. And also his
Facebook's the same. Facebook's the same.
What is it?
Facebook and YouTube are the same. Also, Boplay photos.
And then also on secondary IG account Pelir Productions, PELLIR, correct, right?
PELIR.
Oh, 1L. Okay. PELIR.
Pelik in the
Malay,
pokok,
no, I
in
know
the
Malay,
hutan.
no, you Malay,
no.
Yeah, the hutan lah, the pelik aja.
Pelir Productions, PELIR PRODUCTIONS. Please follow that as well.
Boplay.
Is there anywhere else we can? Oh, by the way, your link tree, the link not working on IG.
Linktree?
Yeah.
Can you go off camera no?
No, inside the Instagram, your bio, the link tree is not clickable.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
was checking just now. Actually, not.
I thought it's supposed to be clickable.
It's not clickable. It's not. It's not.
Okay, well, you can go Linktree/Boplay photos.
Yes.
And you find the
Hopefully
list
by
of-
the time
there's
the
a
video
gig
out.
calendar for Singapore and Malaysia.
Yeah, thanks Gary for always putting on Facebook. That one important ja.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
one,
also Gary like updates his your calendar. You have a Go calendar now, right? Is it on
I
Linktree?
no,
not the Go
so
calendar.
my Linktree has the link to the Google calendar.
Go calendar, correct. So the Linktree has a Go calendar where there's gigs every weekend.
Yeah, it will list out the league gigs.
Correct. And not only
like,
Singapore, you know,
bonus
Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia.
No.
And some say
the Malaysia, the Malaysia, Indonesia, all this is only on Facebook.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
The Google
sorry.
calendar is Singapore
Okay.
and Malaysia. But unfortunately, sometimes I get the information too late because
I
many
see.
take the
Because
overseas.
your internet 2 gigabit.
Yeah.
But I get shut.
No, I'm 2 gigabit. That side they're not 2 gigabit, so it's a bit delay.
Okay.
But the Singapore one is I try to update as much as possible and to be as current as possible. Yeah. I need to stress is organic gigs.
It's organic.
Organic underground gigs.
I understand, he does this in his free time. He's not being paid to do this. He does it because he wants to.
If you guys want to pay him also can.
Yeah.
No, I have no Patreon account. Don't worry.
OnlyFans.
You got OnlyFans, yeah?
Dirty minded boys. You only see me with bottles of coke, posing naked with bottles of coke.
You like black coke lah.
Kekuatan pokok.
Coke zero.
Okay, yeah, almost zero already.
I may be a bit rusty, but how do we end up our podcast last time?
You have been.
Oh, so you have been hot sauced and potato.
No, you have been shark.
Oh, sorry. So I've been shark.
I've been there.
I'm Nash.
I'm Gary.
I'm Zan.
I'm Sham.
And we are the Hot Sauce and Potatoes Season 2 Episode 1 cast. See you guys in the next one.
Bye bye.
Peace.